Rise above the noise. This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Twenty-five minutes past 6, 97.3 Citi FM. Pastor Edwin Datson, we agree with you. We've come this far by grace. For the year 2025, we're beginning the second half of the year. So today is 1st July. There are many ways to look at today. Today is July 1, so you could call it our Republic Day, the day Ghana well and truly gain sovereignty, because you can be independent but still not free. But to become a republic means that your head of state is your head of state. It also means maturity, responsibility, accountability. It's also the beginning of the second half of the year, which means that you can start all over again. 365 days. We're around the middle part of the year. So you can look at the first half and say, thank you, Lord. I've come this far by grace. January 1 to June 30. And July 1 to December 31 is the second half of the year. Today is also the National Day of Prayer. And so on every front, there's a lot to be thankful for. And of course, as a fourth republic, we're also having the longest uninterrupted time of democratic rule. Let's not take it for granted. From January 7, 1993, all through to today, July 1, 2025. So much to be thankful for. Always understand that the journey is part of the story. And let the young ones know how far you've come so they can appreciate where you're going. So for business sense this morning, I will use one of my favorite quotes for this season. Professor Niyate, he says, I am not facing my past because that is not where I'm going, but I will not go into my future without it. I am not facing my past because that is not where I'm going. So we face forward, but we will definitely go into our future with a very clear understanding of our past. Because as we're told, life is lived going forwards, but is understood looking backwards. So it takes an understanding of the past to appreciate the importance of the future. And that's Business Sense, brought to you by Access Bank. We have up to 500,000 cedis in prizes and other amazing rewards like phones and tablets in the Fakito Abeji Kesia promo. For more information, call 0800 004400 or go to accessbankplc.com. It is for customers who want to develop the saving habit, open an account and put some money in it and see it grow in leaps and bounds. Access Bank, more than banking.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Rally around the red, gold, black, and green. July 1st, 2025. Great opportunity. I like to see the year in many ways. You can see the year as 4 quarters. So January to March, April to June, July to September, and then October to December. You can also see the year as 2 halves, right? So January to June, July to December. So we're starting the second half of the year.
Come on.
And we're so grateful. We're looking forward to this second half. We believe things will get better.
Yes, sir.
Although I need to say that a number of things kick off today. So whilst on the good side, your data bundles will get bigger.
Oh, Charlie.
Some taxes are kicking in.
Oh, no.
Petroleum consumers should watch out for a slight adjustment according to the oil marketing companies.
Yeah.
And then some taxes also kick in today.
Tariff sentence.
We'll be doing a cost benefit analysis of what you gain and what you lose, and we'll let you know where you sit. But I wanted to point out 3 quick things.
Yeah.
You know, the easiest way to stop something bad is to prevent it from starting.
Sharp.
And there are 3 things people have raised for me to raise this morning. I keep getting messages from people who live around the Spintex area.
Okay.
And they're saying that a certain structure is being put up in their area, which, if left to be built, will cause a lot of trouble. They say it's in the wrong place, it could cause flooding. And what is interesting is that the assembly 2 weeks ago went to pull it down.
Yeah.
But it looks like the people have come back and they are building with more gusto.
Is there a shrine or something?
That's what they call it. But the people say it's not at the right place and it's not the best.
Right.
And what is funny is that when the assembly went to demolish it, they went to the media.
Yeah.
But the people are building it again and it looks like there's nothing happening.
Wow.
And I've received multiple messages this morning.
The videos I saw of that structure, it sort of was within the buffer of the Sakuma, isn't it?
Yes. So that's what it is. They are saying that it's under construction.
Wow.
The assembly is virtually unconcerned.
Wow.
And people who live in the area say this is completely unacceptable. They don't understand why the MCE moved in to demolish, and they are still constructing it again. They've sent pictures to NADMO. NADMO doesn't seem to be saying anything, and the MCE also has gone quiet. And this is at the Crow area, and they are very, very concerned about this. Number 2, there's a new road between Palace Mall and Manette. Beautiful road. We like the road. Now, somebody is telling me that these days people go and park vehicles, abandoned trucks in the median,
You don't mean it.
and very soon it will become some ramshackle place if we don't deal with it. So that's the other thing. It's a nice road, but people just leave maybe some truck. It's like they want to start some businesses in the median. We don't know if the assembly has approved of it.
You know, on the UPSA stretch too, students cross that side a lot. There are
UPSA
pedestrian
from where to
walkways.
where?
So from Preseg, you're going towards UPSA there.
Okay.
About people are also putting up kiosks along that stretch. And it's becoming a kiosk something.
Yeah.
I think that it must be dealt with as soon as possible before it becomes a whole estate of kiosks.
So maybe
along
let's
that stretch.
reference the assemblies in charge. For
Yes.
the Crow, they know themselves. This is the Crow assembly.
Correct.
The Manette to Palace, I suspect, is the Lejokuku assembly.
Correct.
And then for UPSA to
It
Presec
looks like
Junction,
Kwantana, Ayawaso West. I'm not sure.
I think
Is
it's
it more than Kwantana?
Ayawaso West Wagon.
West
I think it's
Wagon.
Ayawaso West Wagon.
Okay.
Yeah, I stand to be corrected though. So assemblies, rally on the red, gold, black, and green. Go and do the needful before it becomes a political issue. Newspaper review segment is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. From the dreams of youth to the ambitions of adulthood, wherever you are on your journey, we are here to support you. Every goal deserves the chance to flourish, every good one. And with hard work, dedication, and strong belief in yourself, the seed of greatness is within reach. So trust in the journey and understand that Fidelity Bank is with you every step of the way. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. When a lawyer wears black, it can only mean something. It can only mean something. Yesterday she was in red.
Yes.
Today she's in black. Is it by your training that every day you should wear a block color? So today is black.
No, I personally just like plain
You don't like
colours.
stripes. You don't like
No.
dots. You don't like tie and dye. Adwa Yankee.
So when I'm not wearing black because I have to go to court, I like to wear bright colors but plain colors.
So today is court.
Today is
The
court.
devil is a liar. You are in black.
My lord.
But why do lawyers? You know, people when I was on, they said lawyers. They say when they die, they tell
They tell
their
them.
heads away.
I heard that
Why do
too.
people wear black? Why do you wear black? Why? Wear white.
We should wear white.
Oh, is it the courtroom is
The
hot?
country is hot.
Then
Your
you wear
wig
that
is
black
hot.
thing.
No,
you wear that
remember-
collar. Then you wear the thing on your head.
Remember, we have been modernizing the courts. So if you go to the High Court complex,
There's AC
there's
there.
AC there, and they have, sometimes we don't. Some of the judges prefer to open the windows because the place is
For free
well
air.
ventilated.
Okay.
Yes.
So the black is cool.
I'm sure. Because the Madina and the court has even.
The court have entered. I don't like court too. It's not the court. You can't even enter the. You can't even enter the toilet. Court. The devil is a liar. Hey, court. Let's not go there.
I'm sure those in charge have heard you.
We need a national. Today is a morning. I don't want to worry you. I want to start a campaign on proper toilets in Ghana.
Hey, from where?
That goes beyond the courts. It's in most public spaces.
Hospitals.
It's sad.
I was seeing a statistic that about 30 or something % of our public schools don't even have proper toilets. Think about it. Schools don't have toilets. When we drive on the Heritage Caravan, we can drive 20 kilometers and not see one toilet. You go to filling stations, there's no proper toilet. Courts don't have proper toilet. Hospitals, they lock their toilet and charge you 10 cedis.
Universities also lock their toilets, and you can't blame them because when they open the toilets
the
to the public, people go and misuse.
So which one is the bigger problem? The lack of toilet or the poor use of it?
I think it's a combination, and it comes back to our personal responsibility.
Well, today is July 1st. We've been a republic for many years. Please, we need a national toilet land. No, I'm serious.
No, it's true.
See, you need it is you are a new lawyer. Eh? One day they'll send you to do they'll send you to do a case at some court in some place. My sister, you will truncate the case.
I move lights in the mornings just to avoid.
You don't want trouble. Let's get into the papers.
Okay, so I'll start with the Daily Guide and front page stories. Police arrest Kofi Juma over 3 stolen cars. Granted bail 500,000 Ghana cedis. 4 Chinese galamseyers arrested with pump action guns. And reconsider Justice Tokono's suspension. That's coming from the GBA President Ifua Gate. Details on page 3. Also, Professor Dua Ajiman replies G-Tech. And NLA donates 100,000 Ghana cedis to tidal wave victims.
Nice. The Chronicle newspaper this morning. NIBS University graduates new doctors with a call to serve humanity. Kofi Juma released from CID captivity after being accused of stealing Gihok Distillery's cars. And this story is back. Child custody case. Court grants substituted service on Baba Sam. World Bank grants Ghana 360 million Ghana cedis.
To the New Republic and cover story, Sakawa Kingpin bows to extradition. Dada Joe shipped out as Ghana begins seizure of assets. Also, family feud escalates. US-based Ghanaian feared dead amid sibling threats over property dispute. A Greek minister goes all out. Demands FAO, AU, EU backing for bold food revolution. Chinese cash crucial for Ghana's 24-hour dream. That's coming from Julius Debra, hinting at economic revolution. And national security sword hits Kofi Juma, Akufo-Addo's in-law, caged over missing state assets.
Okay, Caleb, take us to the Ghanaian Times next.
Ghanaian Times has a very interesting photograph of an aerial view of a slum area in Accra, and the headline is that 4.8 million urban dwellers live in slums. This is the Ghana Statistical Service's latest report.
Wow.
4.8 million, and there are about 5 million people in Accra.
So, and the slums are not just in Accra.
That's correct.
There are slums everywhere.
Now, fear grips residents of Nkwanta South as conflict escalates. NLA donating 100,000 Ghana cedis to support tidal wave victims is here as well. World Bank approves $360 million for Ghana to restore macroeconomic stability. That is here. If you go to the Overseer, Gold Board new license takes effect, old ones revoked. This is Sami Jemfi speaking. Africa must chart its own course towards integration, sustainable growth. This is Ato Forsen speaking. Eric Opoku secures FAO support to deepen Ghana's agricultural transformation agenda. Mahama to launch Gold Board task force on July 8 to combat smuggling. This is Sami Jemfi. And 3 stolen state vehicles retrieved from former Gihok MD Maxwell Kofi Juma, and this is the Ghana Police Service speaking.
Okay, on the front page of Daily Graphic, Albert Jumfo re-elected GJA president. Other 5 positions have new faces. Also, Ghana marks National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving today, 1st July. and implement EVAT, IMF recommends. These are some of the stories on the front page.
Let
of
me
the
take
Daily
you
Graphic.
online. I'll start with citynewsroom.com and the number of big stories there. Gold board exports top $5 billion in first half, beating 2024 total. Now listen to this. Their first half of $5 billion is more than the 2024 total.
Wow.
So they've really made some progress there. Wow. And then telcos begin implementing 10 to 15% data increase today. Health Minister to address Parliament on Ghana's COVID-19 surge today.
Okay.
24-hour economy, Parliament to debate policy amid consideration for new authority. And then Tekpe says Mohammed's first 6 months show tangible progress. Meanwhile, Guzitano says $4 billion private investment targeted under 24-hour economy policy. If you go to Channel 1 News, Tekpe is also leading. He was on a point of view last night. He highlights economic gains under Mahama administration and says strong harvests are easing pressure on the city, among other things. Meanwhile, Kofi Jume's lawyers fight back. They say he legally owns 2 of the alleged stolen vehicles. And then NDC youth besiege Axo Load Station in Ashanti over corruption claims. National security intervenes. Staying in the Ashanti region, police arrest 9 in armed robbery crackdown. 1 suspect killed. And then in the OT region, tensions force closure of schools, banks, and businesses in Nkwanta. My journal line has a number of stories from an interview with Frank Edu, former MD of Cal Bank. He describes Akufo-Addo and Ken Ofori-Atta's economic management as a disaster. He also says that we slept in the same bed, but Ken Ofori-Atta's legacy betrayed our hope. Frank Edu Jr. spilling the beans. Gives CEO Achihese to step down after nearly 2 decades of service. And then, this is a beautiful one from Professor Edwedu Ajimai. Which institution appointed you to rank of professor?
So
GTech. Okay, so GTech said, yeah, and he's responding in a letter. So we'll get into that. So the GTech is asking him who appointed him a prof, and he has a response to them in the newspapers. And then CJ reinstatement, GBA asking for willful, blatant violation of constitution, according to Felix Kwachi Ofosu. Don't forget that there's also a July 9 deadline for Trump and EU on tariffs. So the Bloomberg has an exclusive: EU to accept Trump universal tariff, but 6 key exemptions. The question is, what is Africa doing by way of that particular global situation? Meanwhile, Trump's global aid cuts risked 14 million deaths in 5 years, according to a report put together. Let's get into the details.
Bernard, I'll start from the back page of Ghanaian Times. Passengers stranded at Dambai over faulty pontoon. Cecilia Yada Laga is writing from Dambai that hundreds of travelers and vehicles on Sunday were left stranded for hours at the banks of the Oti River in the Karachi East Municipality in the Oti region following a technical fault with the pontoon ferry service. Now, passenger vehicles from Accra en route to Pandai, Karachi, Buya and surrounding areas arrived at the river banks as early as 4 a.m. hoping to catch the first ferry crossing. However, they were left disappointed when the pontoon failed to operate due to mechanical issues. Now, attempts to speak to officials at the time of filing the story proved futile, but we are told motorists and commuters using the Pandai Dambai road were similarly stranded at the lakeside with no indication of when the ferry service would resume. Many were compelled to wait under the scorching sun or remain in their vehicles as there were no designated shelters or waiting areas. We do know these areas are part of the breadbasket of the nation, so if the ferry breaks down and people are stranded, it will really have an impact.
Let me stay in the OT region. Stay in OT region. City Newsroom and Channel 1 are reporting that tensions force closure of schools, banks and businesses in Nkwanta. Widespread closures have hit parts of Nkwanta and the OT region as escalating tensions and recent violence prompt schools, banks and businesses to suspend operations. Confirmed the situation in an interview with Joy News on Monday, OT Regional Minister John Kojo Japong acknowledged the disruptions but noted that some areas of the municipality remain relatively calm. Regional authorities say efforts are underway to restore calm and guarantee public safety. Now, we do know that there's been disturbances in parts of the region, and we've been told there are clashes between 2 different groups. The government is scrambling to bring things to order, and the minister is admitting that the problem has caused closures of these institutions. Now, let's come to the Daily Guide.
Yes, let me also go to the Volta region still with the Daily Guide, page 6, and it says NLA donates 100,000 cedis to tidal wave victims. The National Lottery Authority, NLA, has donated 100,000 Ghana cedis to the Volta regional minister in support of victims affected by tidal waves in the region. NLA Director General Mohammed Abdul Abdul Salam presented the check to the Volta Regional Minister James Gunu, who was accompanied by the Municipal Chief Executive of Ketu South Municipal Assembly, Mr. Nicholas Kwabla Woklachi, along with some assembly members at a press conference in Accra. Speaking at the event, Mr. Abdul Salam mentioned that NLA, through Good Causes Foundation, acted promptly to help alleviate the plight of the victims.
All right.
And at 4.8 million urban dwellers live in slums. Center spread Ghanaian Times Kingsley Asari writing that about 4.82 million Ghanaians, approximately 30.8% of the urban population, are living in slums. That's the Ghana Statistical Service's latest report on slums. The report, titled Slums and Informal Settlements in Ghana, explains that a household is said to exhibit slum characteristics if it lacks access to improved drinking water, improved sanitation, durable housing, sufficient living space, or any combination of these. The report said a household is considered to have access to an improved drinking water source if the water source is protected from outside contamination such as pipe-borne water, borehole, bottled and sachet water, while improved sanitation means a household has access to a facility with an excreta disposal system that hygienically separates human waste from human contact. It gives you some breakdown. It examined the slum situation in urban localities in 16 regions of the country, stated that nearly half of all urban households, that's 46.1%, or about 2.2 million, exhibit one or more slum conditions. Now, it said the northern and savannah regions report the highest levels of extreme slum intensity.
Wow.
More details here.
Well,
in the
let me give you
spread.
a couple of things happening today. So telcos begin implementing 10 to 15% data increase. That's on citynewsroom.com. Daniel Sakte reports that, as you've heard already, this move comes in response to widespread public complaints over high cost of internet service and aims to provide more value to subscribers. The Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, which spearheaded the initiative, says the adjustment is part of broader efforts to improve digital access and affordability. Now, the discussion on social media is whether the quality of the data so received is good.
Yeah.
Then still on what's happening today, electricity tariffs up by 2.45%. Water remains unchanged. So the PURC, starting today, July 1, has approved the 2.45% upward adjustment in electricity tariffs. This is part of the Commission's quarterly tariff review mechanism, which factors in fluctuations in inflation, exchange rate, fuel prices, and power generation dynamics. Now, for water, though, there is no increase. The rate for water remains the same. Now, there's also a number of taxes that may kick in today. The daily graphic is leading with a couple of things. Implement EVAT, IMF recommends. Now, the IMF has recommended the implementation of the electronic invoicing system known as EVAT as part of measures to improve the value-added tax regime. The IMF, as part of the key reforms measures, also suggested the removal of COVID-19 levy, recrediting the NHIS and the GET fund to allow input claims, and lowering the VAT effective rate. Others are raising the VAT threshold from the current 200,000, removing the flat rate scheme for retailers, and expanding the tax base to include under tax services such as short-term insurance and water. You know, there's a complaint about tax on VAT on insurance.
Yes.
Now, the IMF technical teams, which have been holding discussions with key state authorities, also want the government to enhance the turnover tax under the Income Tax Act and curtail revenue leakage risks from free zone enterprises. We can get into this later during the main show in terms of what is happening today.
Very well.
July.
Let me take you to the story about Professor Duajiman replying GTech on page 6 of the Daily Guide. Former board chairman of the Audit Service, Professor Edward Duajiman, has described a letter by Ghana Tertiary Education Commission GTech directing him to cease using the title professor as nothing short of a failed attempt to tarnish his hard-earned image in the eyes of right-thinking members of society. GTech, in a letter dated June 17, 2025, raised concerns over his continuous use of the title and queried the lack of legitimate academic endorsement. However, Professor Duajiman, responding to the letter, expressed his dissatisfaction with the actions of GTech, which he claims is aimed at dragging his good name in the mud.
Right.
In his full response titled, "I earned my professor professorship. He explained that he was appointed a professor of tax and accounting by Warnbro College, Canterbury, United Kingdom in 2014, a year after obtaining his PhD in taxation and public sector audit from Warnbro College, Canterbury, United Kingdom. He adds, I hold a BA Honours in Business Studies from Middlesex University, London, 1973, a Certificate of Education from Garnet College, University of London, 1975, Master of Public Administration, MPA, 2009, from the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA.
Now, two policy think tanks call for full disclosure on tariff increments. Ghanaian Times here, two policy think tanks have called for full public disclosure of the data and methodology used to determine the tariff rates by the PRC. The two noted that the recent 2.43% tariffs increments announced by the Commission and scheduled to start today was outrageous. Now, in a statement jointly signed by West Africa Regional Director of CATS International and Benjamin Insia, Executive Director of SEMSI, that's the Civil Society Organizations, and copied to the Ghanaian Times, it stated that the tariff adjustments violate Section 3C of the PRC Act 538 of 1997. Now, here's the argument. They explained that the Citi appreciated by over 30% between the first and second quarters of the year, moving from 15.70 to 10.31 per dollar.
All right.
This, they emphasize, translated into overpayments by end user and generated approximately 1 billion Ghana cedis in windfall revenues for the government and distribution companies, which could have been used to clear arrears or finance emergency power supplies, rendering the new tariff increase unjustifiable.
Can anybody give us an update on Maxwell Kofi Juma and the vehicles? His lawyers are saying that the two of the vehicles belong to him, and there's a whole brouhaha over missing cars.
Details of that on Daily Guide, page 3. 3 state vehicles have successfully been retrieved from former managing director of Gehok Distilleries, Maxwell Kofi Juma, by the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, of the Ghana Police Service, following an earlier arrest. Addressing the situation yesterday, the Director General of the CID, DCOP Lydia Yakodonko, stated that Mr. Juma was arrested based on complaints filed by workers of the company to the police CID headquarters over an alleged theft of company vehicles. Mr. Kofi Juma, she said, was arrested based on a complaint petition that was submitted to us by Gehok Distilleries Company Limited, stating some vehicles which were the property of the company had been stolen by the said Maxwell Kofi Juma. A warrant for arrest was properly secured, and that was the basis for his arrest.
His legal team is saying that basically this is two of the vehicles belong to him. Speaking on Eyewitness News on June 30, Nana Benyi Akin clarified that only 2 of the 3 vehicles reportedly retrieved by the police were ever in his client's possession, and that ownership of both are fully justified. He says Mr. Juma provided documentation to investigators confirming that he legally acquired both vehicles. One, he said, was bought directly from an insurance company and had no connection to Gehok. The second one, though originally assigned to him during his tenure as MD, was later sold to him in line with his contractual entitlements.
Meanwhile, Mr. Juma has been granted bail of 500,000 Ghana cedis with 2 sureties involving this arrest.
Right now, former Cal Bank MD Slums banking sector cleanup calls Kenneth Oriata's tenure disastrous. This is the High Street Journal. Former Cal Bank MD calls 2017-2018 banking sector cleanup as avoidable, criticizes Oriata's tenure, proposes equity restoration for defunct banks merged into CBG. So the former managing director of Cal Bank, Mr. Frank Edu Jr., has strongly criticized the 2017-2018 banking sector cleanup, describing it as ill-informed and avoidable. He's speaking on PM Express on Joy News, where he argued that the banking crisis at the time could have been resolved without shutting down affected banks, insisting the banks and the government's approach cause more harm than good.
Let's continue with comments on the economy. Seth Tekpe has been speaking on the point of view, and he has been describing the performance of this economy under Mahama as tangible progress. Economic policy advisor to the president, Seth Tekpe, says President Mahama is satisfied with the progress made by Ghana's economy in the first 6 months of his administration. Speaking on the point of view, Mr. Tekpe pointed to several macroeconomic indicators, including the successful completion of the 4th review of the IMF program as clear signs of progress. Now, we are told the gold board has also some very interesting news to share. Now, the story on Citi Newsroom says that gold board exports top $5 billion in first half 2025, beating 2024 total. Emmanuel Upon reports that the Ghana Gold Board has crossed the $5 billion mark in gold export value for the first half of this year, surpassing the $4.6 billion recorded for the entire 2024. CEO Sami Jemfi made this announcement at the press conference in Accra, describing the milestone as clear indication of the impact of ongoing regulatory reforms and efforts to formalize the gold trade. He added that the board is on track to hit the 60-ton export mark by end July 2025, driven by stronger compliance, improved oversight, and streamlined licensing regime under the Ghana Gold Board Act. This is amazing. Sami Jemfi emphasized that Gold Board remains committed to playing a strategic role in boosting foreign exchange inflows and supporting macro stability.
Let me bring you the other side of gold. 12 busted in Ashanti Galamsey crackdown. Chinese nationals among those caged. And in a significant swoop against the destructive illegal mining scourge, 12 individuals, including 4 Chinese nationals, have been apprehended in a renewed crackdown across 2 districts in the Ashanti region. This major operation signals an escalated offensive by authorities to reclaim the nation's ravaged lands and poisoned water bodies from the clutches of Galamsey operators. The Ghana Police Service confirmed that specialized anti-Galamsey task forces descended upon Amansia South and Adansia Sokwa, netting suspects and seizing a cache of equipment that underlines the sheer scale of the illicit enterprise. In the Apremadu community of Amansia South, a precision-led intelligence operation saw 8 Ghanaian men caught red-handed in the act of the illegal mining. The police identified the arrested as Karim Isaka, 38, Samuel Duga, 35, Seidu Karim, 35, Isaka Azitariga, 24, Wedu Desmond, 29, James Kabute, 21, Bashiru Idris, 19, and Collins Amoakon, 19 years, Collins Amoakon, 24 years. 8 persons were arrested while actively engaging in illegal mining activities, a police statement revealed.
Let's end with Albert Jumfor. He's been re-elected GJ president. GNA reports that Albert Kwabnat Jumfor has been re-elected president of Ghana Journalists Association following the 2025 elections. He secured 445 out of the 690 votes, defeating his main contender Charles Mausi, who polled 245. In the vice presidential race, Miss Rebecca Ekpe emerged victorious with 414 votes ahead of Miss Mary Mensah, who garnered 272. Dominic Logi was re-elected general secretary, obtaining 443 against his opponent Akwesi Ajiman, who received 247. Organizing secretary was won by Suleiman Mustafa of the Daily Graphic, who polled 365, surpassing Maxwell Kudeko, who gained 321. Mrs. Betha Bedu Ejay was elected treasurer with 401 votes, defeating a challenger Theodora Ametoyakanu, who secured 287. And the public affairs was Zedok Kwame Jesse, beating Caesar Abigali, who polled 253 votes. That's all we have time for. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the newspaper review.
My body, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, cause you know it's out your side. And when you dream, no say I live for you. And when you hustle every day, when you wanna go, anything you do, I live for you. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Go me. I want time where you can't park where I don't hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I don't change my car. It be the same ride. It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excelium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Cause now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. better. And what they boss my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excelium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish Magobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why you hand the Magobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go-go.
Excelium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excelium. Choose Excelium, choose quality.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City Business News with Nashika Caesar. Good morning, Na.
Good morning, Bernard. Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Coming up, Ghanaians to enjoy 10 to 15% increase in data bundle offerings beginning today. Also coming up, Gold Board exceeds 2024 full-year performance, surpassing $5 billion in gold exports for the first half of 2025. And later, economic watchers call on Ghana Revenue Authority to review the 3% flat rate applied to businesses with annual sales of 20,000 Ghana cedis and above. We settle for the details of our stories now. Telecommunications companies have today, July 1, 2025, begun implementing a government directive to increase data bundle offerings by 10 to 15%. This follows public outcry over the high cost of internet services. Citi Business News' Daniel Sakite has the rest of the story.
The intervention, led by the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, comes in response to mounting complaints from consumers and digital stakeholders about the affordability of data in the country. The government's move mandates mobile network operators such as MTN, Telecel, and AT to adjust their data offerings upward in a bid to offer greater value to subscribers. Effective today, AT and Telecel have increased data allocations on bundles by 10%, while MTN has implemented a 15% upward adjustment. High-tier plans have seen significant improvement, with AT's 400 Ghana cedis package now offering 236 gigabytes, up from the 195 gigabytes. Telecel has increased its 400 Ghana cedis bundle to 250 gigabytes, up from the 90 gigabytes. MTN has reinstated its 399 Ghana cedis bundle, now delivering 214 gigabytes compared to the 92.88 gigabytes previously offered under a 350 Ghana cedis plan. Sector Minister Sam George has directed the National Communications Authority to sanction telecommunications companies that failed to comply with the directive. In the lead-up to today's rollout, the telecommunication companies had begun notifying customers of the new pricing structure in line with the policy.
You had the City Business News' Daniel Sakite with that report. Now the Ghana Gold Board has crossed the $5 billion mark in gold export value for the first half of 2025, surpassing the $4.6 billion recorded for the entire year of 2024. The Chief Executive Officer of the Cocoa Board, Sammy Jemfi, Gold Board, Sammy Jemfi made this known at a press conference in Accra, describing the milestone as a clear indication of the impact of ongoing regulatory reforms and efforts to formalize the gold trade. He added that the board is on track to hit the 60-ton export mark by the end of July 2025.
When you hear that we have exported over 50 tons of gold, because this month alone we are doing almost 9 tons of gold, then you know that this month alone we brought in nothing less than $900 million in forex for the Bank of Ghana. And so if the Bank of Ghana has enough forex liquidity for the market and for government obligations, and the CD is strong and stable, it is because of some of these things that the Gold Board is doing. And we hope to sustain this. You know that in the whole of 2024, gold exports for the whole year stood at 66 tons. With an export value of $4.6 billion. We've done only 6 months, and yet we've crossed the $4.6 billion we got for the whole of 2024. We've crossed it. We've gone beyond $5 billion. And in terms of the volumes too, we are almost getting to 66 tons. We've done 50 tons and over. And we are optimistic that by the end of the next month, we would have hit the 60 tons. And we are doing all this so that we cut out the activities of enemies of the state.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Jemfi, speaking there. Meanwhile, effective today, July 1, any person who trades in gold without obtaining a license from the Gold Board does so illegally, as all the previous licenses issued by the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources for gold trading have been rendered redundant by the Gold Board Act. Away from that, some tax analysts are calling on the Ghana Revenue Authority GRA to review the 3% flat rate applied to businesses with annual sales of 20,000 Ghana cedis and above, describing it as too low. This comes on the back of several new tax policy rollouts, including the modified taxation scheme, which takes effect today for all informal sector workers. Daniel Odumensa has more in this report.
The modified taxation scheme introduces a more flexible tax framework targeting micro, small and medium-sized enterprises nationwide. It focuses on Ghanaian residents who earn income solely from business operations within the country. The scheme applies to different categories of businesses based on their annual income. Small businesses earning less than 20,000 cedis a year will pay a fixed amount every quarter up to 45 cedis. Businesses earning between 20,000 cedis and 500,000 cedis a year pay a flat tax rate of 3% on their total annual sales. Businesses earning above 500,000 cedis a year will be taxed using graduated rates and allowed to make deductions based on their expenses. Tax payments can be made through mobile money, USSD code *222# or at the bank. Business owners can register for the scheme at any GRA office or through the GRA mobile app. Speaking to Citi Business News, tax analyst Francis Timoboy acknowledged the GRA's efforts in implementing the scheme, but emphasized the need to reassess the 3% flat rate for businesses.
The threshold of 20,000 is quite low. We should have increased it a little bit so that we can take away the very, very small businesses. Imagine 3% of 20,000. That is very small for a whole year. And so I was thinking that the threshold could be increased a little bit. But overall, the implementation is very good. Honestly, if we're able to broaden the tax base, you realize that the tax rates that we have in this country should come down. And because we have not been able to broaden and very few people pay the tax, that is why government will have to, always come up with higher tax rates and also adopt the consumption taxes, which has a broader base, unless you don't buy or consume.
Francis Timoboy also expressed concern over the scheme's media rollout, noting that with just 6 months remaining in the year, there is limited time for full adoption. He stressed the importance of intensified public sensitization to enhance compliance.
Just 6 months to the year end, and again, it looks to me that we haven't been able to do enough sensitization. So in the initial period, you realize there's likely going to be some resistance from the small businesses because this is the first time you're trying to tax them.
You heard the tax analyst Francis Timoboy ending that report filed by Daniel Odumensa. Moving on, the relative stability of the local currency and ongoing fiscal reforms are clear evidence that Ghana has performed satisfactorily in the first 6 months of the current administration. This is according to Seth Tekpe, Economic Policy Advisor at the Office of the President, in his assessment of the government performance. Speaking on the point of view with Bernard Avle on Channel 1 television, Seth Tekpe highlighted several macroeconomic indicators, including the successful completion of the fourth review of Ghana's IMF program, as clear signs of progress.
As a halfway mark within even the first year, I would say satisfactorily.
Satisfactorily?
Yes, because there are measures that you have to use to say, I'm cautiously, because it's very short term, I'm cautiously optimistic, I'm cautiously happy. One, let me suggest two or three. Two, we came in as a new government, of course with some experience, to complete the fourth review of the IMF program. It will be going to the board this July. It was to be end of June. All indications, including the staff That's your measure. The staff who came to the country. I think that we think that things have gone well and the various structural measures and benchmarks and things have been met.
Seth Tekpe is Economic Policy Advisor at the Office of the President. Now, on the interbank market today, the dollar is going for 12 cedis, 40 pesos, while the British pound is going for 15 cedis, 80 pesos, and the euro is going for 14 cedis, 80 pesos. And that's all for the breakfast edition of the Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Coil, and EcoBank. I'm Nashika Caesar. Many thanks for your company. Do have a great business day.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, Madam Eunice. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
Please, I'm following up on my order.
The dispatch will bring it, eh? Don't worry.
Hey, Madam, it's been 4 days. Aden, is that how you do business?
Oh, young lady, relax. The pressure is too much.
As for today, dear, I must get my package. Oh. Hello, Madam. Hello. Hey, she has hung up on me, and I don't even know her and where her shop is. Oh, Erade.
Oh, sister, never send e-cash to any vendor you do not know or whose authenticity you have not confirmed. Davida, always make sure to confirm details with the vendor when engaging in online payments. Also, remember to make payments of your orders on delivery to avoid being scammed.
MTN.
Citi 97.3 Accra. This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Oh my God, I know. You do me bad, then you know.
I know carrying multiple phones around can be such a chore. Unsightly bulge in your pocket, extra weight in your purse, stress, switching from one phone to the other to pick calls. My goodness. Now imagine being able to switch between different numbers on the same phone easily and seamlessly. Guess what? You can go seamless with MTN eSIM and enjoy the convenience of connecting multiple phone numbers to one single phone or device. To check if your device is compatible, simply dial *#06#. Once you receive an EID number, it means your phone or device is compatible. So simply download the My MTN app today to request your MTN eSIM and enjoy the sweet, seamless life everywhere you go. Every day, people like Atongo face different money emergencies, police, fire, medical, you name it. But many Ghanaians don't know the emergency number. *770# is the new EcoBank money emergency number. Yes, *770#. Instant access to loans, fund transfer, utility payments, airtime and data purchase, so much more. Even without data is what you get with the *770# EcoBank money emergency number. Let EcoBank come to your rescue anytime you find yourself in such emergencies. EcoBank is the Pan-African Bank. We're jumping to kick off the sports segment. Is brought to you by Lesheho, Polytank and Shell. This is Ghana. The water storage tank we all know is Polytank. It's been around for 3 decades, trusted by generations. So make no mistakes. Go for guaranteed quality. No matter the size, durability is always assured. And if you walk into any Polytank partner shop across the country, you get the Polytanks available at the same price across the country. It's original Papa Nonia. We don't ask for Momo payments online. Now, how do you want your engine to feel today? Confident, protected, ready to perform? Then let's talk about Shell V-Power. Shell V-Power with Dynaflex technology is specially formulated to clean and protect your engine, giving it that boost it needs. Feel the unbeatable and feel the unbeatable because the best choice just feels right. Shell, feel the feeling with Shell V-Power. Shell, go well. So let's check how Don't Commit campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lashelle, you don't have to face them alone. Lashelle will reduce our interest rates just for you. No matter your expense, we have the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call now on 02-740-799. Lashelle, let's improve life. Gabby Affairs here with Kickoff.
Ruben Neves, Renan Lodi, and super ball in, and it's over the line. Al Hilal keep on doing it. They keep on prospering. It is a colossal upset here at the FIFA Club World Cup. Al Hilal have eliminated Manchester City.
Massive upsets at the Club World Cup. Manchester City knocked out of the competition by Saudi side Al Hilal in the quarters. More from the competition. Also, we look ahead to this.
I'm resigning because of His Excellency the President and also the party I belong to. But I'm not afraid of the Minister and the Director General at all. I cannot fight my own government and my own party.
All right, more from the former GBA President Ibrahim Kote Nikwe. Those were his last words at the press conference held yesterday at the Bukom Boxing Arena. All of that plus some tennis update in the next 10 minutes on kickoff. Many thanks to Zonda GH Shall Go Well, Politan Ghana, and Lasheho. Let's improve life. Alright, I'm Gabby Offer. Let's start off with some boxing news. And ahead of the upcoming Ghana Boxing Authority Elective Congress, outgoing President Ibrahim Kote Nikwe took a swipe at the Sports Ministry and the National Sports Authority, accusing them of attempting to tarnish the image of the GBA. Now, speaking at a press conference held yesterday at the premises of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Mr. Nikwe outlined the reasons behind his decision to resign and also address what he described as deliberate efforts by two state institutions to drag the authority's name through the mud. Let's get more in this report.
I'm a politician, but I believe most of you are not politicians. I'm resigning because of His Excellency the President and also the party I belong to. But I'm not afraid of the Minister and the Director General at all. I cannot fight my own government and my own party. But I also encourage the Roger Bano and the board members I'm leaving behind that the NSA and the ministry have no right to set the GBA aside. They don't have that right. And if you people sit down for them to do this, then you are setting up a pace that will continue.
Those were the parting words of outgoing Ghana Boxing Authority President Ibrahim Kote Nikwe as he explained his decision to resign amidst the recent backlash the authority has faced. Nikwe's resignation has not been well received within the boxing fraternity, with many still believing he remains the right man to lead the GBA. However, for him, stepping down should not discourage his supporters or the incoming president from standing up to the Sports Ministry and the National Sports Authority. He maintains that the ministry's actions, particularly the setting up of a 7-member committee to probe the tragic death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun Olarinwaju, form part of a witch-hunting scheme against his administration.
The Ghana Boxing Authority and its stakeholders, you have to fight for your rights. If you allow them to set you aside, tomorrow they'll come and set another body to aside. And it shouldn't start from you. Not at all. They have no right. If you look at the report, you realize that the people that they put in don't have the interest of the sport.
Mohamed Amin Lamte, the former public relations officer of the Ghana Boxing Authority, also took the opportunity to highlight a key achievement recorded under Ibrahim Kote Nikwe's leadership. In addition, he accused the sports ministry of hoarding funds that were intended to support the repatriation of the late Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun Olariwaji's body to his family.
Boxing gave Ghana 10 solid world champions. Football has given Ghana 0 World Cup. But what is going on? Somebody passed away, and not even a 1 city coming from government to support the GBA. Then let me say this, it's a speculation, I don't know whether it's true or not. We overheard that Chief of Staff Office gave an amount of money to, I wouldn't want to call the institution, to be given to the GBA for the process. Nothing came to us.
Amidst all these accusations, the Ministry of Sports and Recreation is yet to officially respond to the claims made by the Ghana Boxing Authority, with the elective Congress set to take place in July.
All right, so that's what happened yesterday at the Bukom Boxing Arena. It was a press conference held by the outgoing president, Ibrahim Kote Nikwe. While away from boxing, Accra Hearts of Oak unveiled Masood Didi Dramani yesterday at the club's commercial centre ahead of the new season. Dramani was appointed as head coach, replacing Abubakar Ouattara following the conclusion of the 2024-25 season. Here's what the former Kotoko head coach Didi Dramani had to say at the press conference.
I'm honored to also serve in the realms of Accra House of Folk. I try to understudy the vision of the board, which is the direction of the club, and trying to institute a clear direction with consistency and sustainability. And we try as much as possible to put in place a more progressive development approach. And so we acknowledge what had been instituted over these years. It is for us to keep the consistency and keep improving structures, more importantly, very comprehensive technical programs that will improve individuals and also the team.
All right, so that's has latest coach Masood Didi Dramani speaking there. Well, his first game will be against his former side Kumase Asante Kotoko in the President's Cup that we played on Sunday at the Accra Sports Stadium. And reacting to that is advisor to the board, Kwesi Agyemang.
We believe this new season that we are going into, starting from Sunday, where we are playing the President's Cup, to the tournament that we are going to play in Nigeria, and then thereafter all the other games, the Democracy Cup and everything. We are going in with that new mentality of who we are, Accra House of Folk. And so I want to welcome Coach Didi once again. We've worked before in the past in various capacities, and I know what you can deliver, and you can have the assurance from me, coming from the board and the executive chairman, that the board is going to support you fully in the discharge of your duties.
All right, so that's Kwesi Agyemang. He's advisor to the board of Accra Hearts of Folk. In women's football, the Black Queens have arrived at their base in Morocco ahead of the start of the delayed 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. The team will be stationed in Saada for the group stage of the tournament, where Ghana has been drawn in Group C alongside defending champions South Africa, Mali, and Tanzania. Ghana will open its campaign against the Bayana of South Africa on Monday, July 7, before facing Mali on July 11. Then we'll wrap up the group stage with a clash against Tanzania on July 14. While in the FIFA Club World Cup, defending champions Manchester City were knocked out of the competition at the last 16 stage after being stunned in extra time by Saudi Arabia side Al Hilal in an incredible 7-goal thriller.
Pep, I'm sure that defeat's tough to take. What's your assessment of that game?
But it's a pity. We have been an incredible journey. We have been so good here. The vibe, the players, staff, argument staff have been so good. It's a pity that we are out. Football is like this. We allow them to run a little bit of transitions. That always, I think we are good in that, and we create a lot of chances, and especially the first half, the shoot, and start the second half, start with a down is difficult, but we were there. We tried until the end. Unfortunately, we could not do it, and congratulations to Al Hilal.
All right, so that's Manchester City's boss, Pep Guardiola, speaking after losing to Al Hilal in the FIFA Club World Cup. Well, Brazilian club Fluminense also shocked Inter Milan with a 2-0 win to reach the quarters. Fluminense will join fellow Brazilian club Palmeiras in the quarterfinals and will now play Al Hilal in the Camping World Stadium in Orlando on Friday. Later tonight, Madrid will take on Juventus at the Hard Rock Stadium at 7 p.m. Well, in the transfer market, Tottenham Hotspur are interested in signing West Ham's Mohamed Kudus this summer, with Chelsea also keen on the forward. Kamaldeen Sulemana also underwent his medical yesterday ahead of completing his move to Syria side Atalanta. In tennis, from the men's singles in the Wimbledon, two-time semi-finalist Daniil Medvedev took his frustration out on his racket after he suffered a shock first-round exit. He lost 7-6, 3-6, 7-6, 6-2 to the 64th ranked Frenchman Benjamin Bonzi before slamming his racket against his chair and also his back. Well, two-time defending champion Carlos Alcaraz also avoided a shock against Italian veteran Fabio Fognini in the first round to set up a meeting with British qualifier Oliver Tavet. Here's what Carlos Alcaraz had to say after the win.
Well, first of all, to be honest, I don't know why is his last Wimbledon, because the level he has shown, he can still play in 3-4 more years. Unbelievable. I just I have to give him the credit of. I just had to give him the credit of such a great match. Fabio is a great player. He has shown during his whole career. The level and the talent he has. Once again he can show today. So I'm just a little bit sad that he's probably his last Wimbledon, but just happy to have lived and shared the court many times with him in the locker room with him.
All right, so that's two-time defending champion Carlos Alcaraz speaking after breezing past Fabio Fognini in the first round of the men's singles of the ongoing Wimbledon. Later, for the women's singles, Paula Badosa got kicked out. She lost to Katie Boulter in the first round by 2-6, 6-3, 4-6. Arina Sabalenka is also through to the second round. She beat Canada's Carson Brastine 6-1, 7-5. Tunisia's Ange Jabeur retired early in the game, meaning her opponent Victoria Tomova will progress to the second round. Later today in the women's singles, Barbora Krejcikova, she's the defending champion. She will take on Alexandra Ila at 1:30 p.m. And then Coco Gauff is also in action. She's up against Ukraine's Diana Yamstrenka at 6:30 p.m. There's more later on 5 p.m. That's Sports Flash on 97.3. But that's the very latest in the world of sports. For more, you can head to citysportsonline.com and on X. You can find us at City Sports JHA. Kickoff is proudly brought to you by Shell, Shell Gowo, Politang GH, Zonda, Lesheho. Let's improve life. I am Gabi Ofer. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care. Bye-bye.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solution, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Polytank is everywhere, durable and authentic. Stronger brand you can trust. Polytank, we get some more Rambo and get some more super. And the Poly challenge.
Do you ever wonder how your car's engine is doing as you drive?
Not often.
Does it feel confident and protected, or is it tired and struggling?
I have a busy schedule, so I leave matters of my engine to Shell V-Power. With Shell V-Power, you can feel confident because it is the best ever fuel designed for performance and efficiency. Shell V-Power removes performance rubbing deposits, so you can feel protected.
Fill up with Shell V-Power at a Shell service station near you. Feel confidence, feel protection, and feel performance over and over again with Shell V-Power. Fuel the feeling with Shell V-Power. Go well.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
The Money Matter segment is brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Welcome to the Money Matter segment with Petra. Think of your investment like a road trip from Accra to Tamale. You may hit potholes or traffic that slows you down, but it doesn't mean you will not reach your destination. Market dips are like those potholes. At Petra, we prepare for those bumps so your journey continues safely and steadily. Don't quit the ride because of a few rough patches. Dial *447*70# to speak to a financial advisor today. Petra, achieve more.
The Money Matter segment was brought to you by Petra. Petra, achieve more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
When the pain is too much, don't know what else to do. So rapping all, we'll take the pain away. Rapping all,
Rapinol is what you need. Rapinol will relieve you of all aches and pain in your body. Rheumatic pain, menstrual pain, body pain, toothaches, and other feverish conditions. Rapinol is a quality product from Danex Itin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. Not suitable for children below 16 years old, asthmatic, and ulcer patients. This advert is FDA approved.
Is your home and office protected against crime? Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar-proofing, provides fixed and sliding burglar-proof solutions for homes, shops, and offices. Trelidor has given Ghanaians peace of mind for over 20 years with the highest international standards backed by a 5-year warranty on materials and workmanship. Choose Trelidor. Call 0561 24 24 24 or simply Google Trelidor for more information. Trelidor, Africa's strongest burglar-proofing.
World number one Brown Hire LED TV and home appliances got mega up to 5,000 cedis price drop at all Electromat showrooms. This time to shop higher air conditioner, LED TV, refrigerators, washing machine, chest freezer, range of appliances at unbeatable prices on every purchase. Exclusively at showrooms. Rush now while stock lasts. Check our website and social media pages for more details. Electromat, your world of electronics.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
.36 on the City Breakfast Show. A few quick birthdays coming through, and then we jump into some big issues today. Well, I have some good news this morning, and sometimes when you shout on air, it really works.
Yes, sir.
I am being reliably informed,
Yes.
or because I haven't confirmed this with my two eyes, that the facility or the structure that we complained about has been pulled down.
Oh, wow.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
We woke up this morning and the structure, the shrine, has been demolished. Information is that it was pulled down by a group of soldiers.
Sharp.
So this is what we are told. I haven't seen the photos, so please send me photos to be sure that this has happened.
Sharp.
Another update. So the road between UPSA and Presec, that road that takes you to former Ghana Book Trust.
Yeah.
That road, we're told that if you are facing Accra, then that side is also West Wagon.
Yes.
Then behind you is Lankwantana and Medina.
Correct.
Because you know that the Medina constituency, they count their ballots at Presec.
Correct.
So if you're driving on that road towards the Goyle, the right
Your
side
right,
is Medina,
Lankwantana.
the left side is Ayawaso West Wagon.
Wagon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the business school is at Ayawaso West Wagon.
Correct.
And then the right side is Medina. So that technically
that
means
road
that
splits
yes.
The two constituencies.
Many years ago, when I was living in Medina, when I'm going to school, when I get to UPSA Junction, I see a signboard. It's like you are leaving Gan district.
Right.
You are leaving Gan district. So I guess that's where it ends in those days. Now, so if the kiosks are being positioned on the right side of the road, it means the Lankwantana Medina people are the ones to take charge.
Yeah.
If the kiosks are on the left side, which is the business school side, then it's also West Wagon. So let's get in there and do the right thing. Now, we're bringing these things up because we're told nearly 5 million urban dwellers live in slums. And a slum is not a good place to live.
At all.
A slum has many features, which is terrible. Caleb will tell us shortly what a slum is. But let's do some quick birthday requests before we get into whether. By the way, do you know whether where you live is a slum or not? Because you may be paying a lot of money, but you are living in a slum. Now, it's not that doesn't make you a lower human being. It just means that there's a lot of work to do around where you live. There's a lot of work to do around where you live. So just take note of that. Nearly 5 million people in Ghana live in slums.
That's right.
That is not good at all. We need to improve our living conditions. Happy birthday greetings coming through this morning to Mrs. Ellen Ajiman, aka Baby New Mission, aka Baby New Mission Academy. Hey. Is that your name or your school? Agric Junction, Kumasi, Crash 2, lead teacher from all your students. No, I don't understand this message. Okay, let me get it right. Happy birthday to Mrs. Ellen Ajiman, aka Baby, of New Mission Academy, Agric Junction, Kumasi, Crash 2, lead teacher from all your students. How can your students in Crash 2 be sending you a message? It still doesn't add up. Bernard, please wish my mom, Wilhelmina Fatinelson, a happy birthday for me. She's such a great woman, coming in from Zelix. Happy 11th marriage anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Owusu Kwabena and Bridget of ICGC Rehoboth Temple. We pray for many more years of your union. Surely the Lord will take you two to the next level. From David and Emilia of White Estate near Tema Michelle Camp area. Today is your nephew Ethan Senanu Gomado Kobla of Tema Parents Association's birthday. He's 8 years old today. Kindly send some wishes to him on our behalf from Mark, his dad, Mamaga, his sister, and myself. Say we love him to the max and we wish him well. Ethan Senanu Gomado Kobla.
Thank you.
Of Tema Parents, you're 8 years old. Happy birthday to my sweet baby girl, Reina Edinam Nomeshi of Estima Montessori School. And Madame Rejoice Osabute of Tema Newtown. Happy birthday. May your day be filled with joy, laughter, and everything that makes you happy. From Roland Godsway Nomeshi. Help me wish a lovely birthday to my sweetheart, Kiona Esther Osoro Adompokwa Esari. May God increase her in all she does. A glorious happy belated birthday to Benjamin Sakwa of Flexi Space Limited. Wishing you long life, prosperity in Jesus' name.
Amen.
From Christian Ameko of Bone. Okay. Happy birthday to the love of my life, Dr. Equia Entry. KATH. Is that Konfanoche?
Oh, yeah.
Radiology department. You are the light in my life, my
Right.
greatest blessing, and my constant source of joy.
Amen.
Your love fills my heart in many ways words can never fully express. I'm so grateful for you, and I look forward to many more beautiful years together. May this special day bring you so much happiness as you bring into my life every single day. I love you deeply. From your husband, Eugene Mensah.
Thank you.
To Dr. Equia Entry.
Nice.
Cath Radiology. Is radiology having anything to do with? What's radiology?
It's X-ray related or something like that. Yeah.
Radiology. All right, now a couple of things
before we go on.
Yes.
Saturday was the birthday of Gideon Kodo's wife, Precious Bonsu Kodo, and he's wishing her a very, very blessed, belated, happy birthday. The message is that Gideon loves you so much, Precious.
Happy birthday to my brother-in-law, Mr. Kwame Gavo of Al Ryan School. Today's your birthday, 1st July. Coming in from the family, Richard Kwame Gavo. Enjoy the day today. Good morning, Bernard. 10 months to Abokobi Street Roads update. The potholes have become even worse since my initial complaint. Less than 6 months after construction, the road is in a deplorable state. I was on this road over the weekend when I visited what's the name of this place? This hotel. I forget the name.
The Platinum Bay.
Yes, and I can confirm that this is true. And the last 1 kilometer is really, really bad.
Yeah.
The question is Teman a town or a slum? That's the question we're answering today. Do you know whether what you live is a slum? Now, Caleb what is a slum? Can you tell me?
So, it said sufficient living area is where, okay, let me go back a bit. The report said a household is considered to have access to an improved... Let me go another step. The report titled Slums and Informal Settlements in Ghana explains that a household is said to exhibit slum characteristics if it lacks access to improved drinking water.
That's one.
Improved sanitation.
That's two.
Durable housing.
That's three.
Sufficient living space.
That's four.
Or any combination of these.
Can you go through the list again?
If it lacks access to improved drinking water.
So that improved drinking water will be tap water.
Yes.
Okay.
Improved sanitation.
So toilet.
Yes, and then durable housing.
What do they mean by that?
Maybe the material.
So it has to be formidable, such that if there's a storm.
Yeah.
So if you're living in a kiosk, that will not meet the standard.
Yeah.
And when you say improved sanitation, you mean water closet?
Most likely.
So do people still use pan latrines in Ghana?
I'm sure.
I hope not. So if it lacks access to drinking water, which is potable,
and it doesn't have improved sanitation, durable housing, as well as sufficient living space.
Sufficient living space.
You know, in some spaces, maybe 15 people are sleeping in the same room. They use their leg to close the door.
Then this means a lot of places are slums. So. And then it says, did it mention specific slum areas in Ghana?
Yes, there are details. There's a breakdown in the various regions, but here are some statistics. The report, which examined the slum situation in urban localities in the 60 regions of the country, stated that nearly half of all urban households, 46.1%, or about 2.2 million, exhibit one or more slum conditions.
Let's see.
It said that northern and savannah regions report the highest levels of extreme slum intensity.
Wow.
Now, even in more developed regions like Greater Accra and Ashanti, slum households face precarious living conditions with more than half living in rented accommodations. So government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu was speaking at the launch of the report in Accra.
I love him to mention all the slums.
Yeah.
But we know them, don't we?
We do.
Drinking water is not safe. Sanitation is not improved. Durable housing is absent. Not enough living space.
There's a quote here, Bernard. If you have walked through any of our major cities, including Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, you would have likely seen it. Crowded compounds, temporary shelters, children playing by open drains, and families living, cooking, and sleeping in the same cramped space. This report quantifies that reality and gives us the clearest picture we have ever had of where, how, and why these conditions persist. Okay. So out of the 4.77 million urban households, he said 46.1% or more than 2.2 million households live in slum conditions.
So I got that wrong initially. So it's half of the
4.77 million.
So about 2.something million.
2.2 million households.
Half of urban dwellers live in slums. Okay.
1.7 million households, that's 29.5%, were classified entirely as slum households.
Just they have all the four. Almost 30%.
Bojo, he said the regional analysis showed wide disparities and 10 out of 16 regions had urban slum populations above the national average.
Which are they?
Ranging from 79.1% in Northeast
My God.
to 29.6% in Bono region.
Which is the lowest.
Yes, Northern region had 4.2%, Savannah had 3.6%, OT region 1.1%.
Yeah, because they are the least urbanized.
Yes.
They are the least urbanized regions.
Now, the report also exposed deep development gaps. Quote, multi-dimensional poverty in slums is more than twice that of non-slum areas.
So poverty.
Yes.
Poverty.
Multi-dimensional poverty.
Poverty.
That's 23.4% compared to 10.5%. Now, in slum areas, he said 1 in 3 people could not read or write. And over 20% have never attended school.
Hey.
Yeah. The government said,
serious?
Yeah. Let me take that again. In slum areas, he said 1 in 3 people could not read or write.
Peace.
And over 20% have never attended school. The government statistician said household mortality rates were also significantly higher. You have 41.6% deaths per 10,000 people compared to 30.7 in non-slum areas. Now, so Dr. Idrisu has urged the central government, MMDAs, civil society, private sector, and development partners to act on the data. Every slum we transform and every household we uplift brings us closer to the inclusive, safe, and dignified cities every Ghanaian deserves.
This is crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
This is really serious. 1/3 of people in slums cannot read or write. Over 20% have never been to school.
Yeah.
And they are multidimensionally poor.
And then
half of urban
rates.
dwellers live in slums.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
But let me just run you through a list of the major slums, some of which we already know across the country on Google.
Please, if they mention your place as a slum, don't come and fight us. So
Yes.
This is an academic exercise. It's not a naming and shaming game.
Yes.
So, hey, you say we are a slum. Please, we don't want that. No, don't do that. It's a serious matter. So I want to say that it's not.
It is without any prejudice.
Thank you. That's the right word. So go ahead.
So we know of Old Fadama, Abubuloshi in Accra, which is one of the largest slums in West Africa. It's a place we know that there's a lot of scrap and e-waste destroyed there. Nima is one. It's also classified, obviously, as a low-income urban community. Mamobi, which is adjacent to Nima, also known for poor sanitation and overcrowding. There's Choko, which is a coastal fishing community, and it's prone to flooding and poor drainage. And then there's Sabonzongo. Sabonzongo. Okay, thanks for the correction. And then there's Sodom and Gomorrah. The nickname Old Fadama. I think I already mentioned that.
Sodom and Gomorrah is a part of Old Fadama.
And there's Kole Gono slum area. So these are areas around the Kole in Accra, densely packed. There's also parts of Ashiaman, which is near Tema. There are inner settlements within Teshi and Nungwa. Some inner areas at La. Yes.
So the inner areas in those communities can be considered slums.
And then you go to the Ashanti region. There's Anloga in Kumasi. There are informal settlements and poor planning there. There's Aboabo, also in Kumasi. There's Asawase, which is largely informal housing. There's Moshi Zongo. And then to the western region, parts of Kojo Krom in Sekandita Krade. And there's also Esikado Ketan in Takrade. They have some undeveloped areas with slum conditions. Northern region, there's also Tamale, some parts of Tamale Zongo. There's Lamashego in Tamale still. These are communities with poor infrastructure. To Volta region, and there's Ho Zongo.
Oh my God.
Informal housing, and then underserviced neighborhoods. Come to eastern region, there's Nsawam Zongo. And then some inner city areas in Koforidia. Poor water, poor housing, bad roads. So yes, and you will notice that there are certain things that recur, or certain commonalities. You have poor sanitation, overcrowding, limited access to potable water, poor waste management.
So those are some of the areas. And the other problem is that places like East Legon and Abelenque and Adabra, there are other places where people are living in slum conditions next to highly expensive residential facilities. So you would have like a few kiosks, people living in it, uncompleted houses. So it scatters through.
And these are growing.
Yes. So
and also because they provide services. So you have some of them, they are there because they're seeking or they obtain jobs from some of these estates.
So those are some of the issues. We'll see if we can give you some more insights. But let me do a few quick announcements. And then my main concern today is not about slums. So my concern today is that it looks like the government has picked 1st July. It's like Okumfu Dumfu. Is that what they call it? So on one hand, 1st July is Republic Day is back. Yay! National Day of Prayer. Yay! We are removing the price of data. Yay! Then VAT on non-life insurance premiums. No. Fuel prices go up. Tariff adjustment upwards. New taxes for informal sector people. All kinds of taxes are coming up today. So we'll see if we can balance the equation today for you. Are we getting blessed or are we getting burnt today, the 1st of July? That's the question. But welcome to Seamless Banking with Prudential Bank's mobile app. Perform instant transactions, link mobile money wallets, scan GHQRs to pay, manage your card, transfer money between banks, and do so much more. No more banking hours. Experience simple, secure, and convenient banking wherever you are 24/7. Download the PBL mobile app now from the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and the Huawei App Gallery. Visit the Prudential Bank website or social media platform for more. Prudential Bank, truly dependable. Try Kebi Chocolate. It's a fantastic chocolate brand made here in Ghana that you can give as a gift for someone truly special. We have it available at the Palace Mall, Migmart, East Legon, Wild Gecko Handicraft Shop at Kotoka, and we also have it at Shiashi and Super Save. We also have it in the US in a number of shops in the Chicago area. Kabi also produces custom-made chocolate gifts for corporate events and businesses. Now here's a question. Are you ready to unlock the power of artificial intelligence for your business? Discover how AI can help your business to work smarter, move faster, and serve better, from marketing and sales to customer service and finance. Now, this AI Masterclass is on Saturday, July 12, 2025, at Lisa Hotel, Northridge, 9 a.m. Rate 1,450 Ghana cedis. 1,450 Ghana cedis. Facilitator Maximus Ametogo. Join us for this AI Masterclass. This is for business executives, entrepreneurs, or people who are just curious about AI. You're a lawyer. You want to know how AI can help you. Why not? Now you may call 0244 767 801. That's 0244 767 801. or go to idm.edu.gh for more information. Now, this event is powered by Institute of Digital Marketing. We want to hear from you on slums and also on the confluence of increases on 1st July today. And by the way, the day is today, the holiday is Friday.
Yeah.
So this is the first of those holidays we're enjoying, where a Tuesday celebration or commemoration does not result in a Tuesday holiday. We wait till Friday to decide to enjoy the holiday. Oh, I love it. All right, Volkswagen is offering the Virtuous Highline Saloon, the T1 High Life, and the Amarok pickup at some very good prices. You can afford the sought-after Virtuous with wireless audio, Android Auto, and Apple Car for navigation and entertainment. We have a wireless charger, rear camera, and other interesting things for only 250k starting price. Call or WhatsApp 025-795-6688 for more information. Or visit any of our showrooms for more information. Volkswagen Rise and Thrive, Drive VW, Drive Ghana, Harry House stocks lacks, terms and conditions apply. And get Translight Solar today and save up to 70% of your electricity bills. Enjoy clean and reliable energy without breaking the bank. Here's the best part: you don't need to pay the full cost up front. Translight Solar is offering an opportunity to own a complete solar system by paying just 30 to 50% of the cost and spreading the rest over the 12 to 36 month period with flexible monthly payment terms. Call 025-604-0838. Translight, wherever there's sunlight, there's Translight. Now, here's my question. Can you walk me through some of the increases? Because today, 1st July, seems to be a day where a lot of things are happening at the same time. We are told that petrol prices are going up. Yep. Tariffs have also gone up. Can you give me the details?
Let me start with PURC's announcement of 2.45 increase in electricity tariffs from today, July 1. The Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, has announced a 2.45% increase in electricity tariffs for all categories of consumers effective July 1, 2025. The adjustment follows the Commission's routine quarterly review conducted every 3 months. However, water tariffs will remain unchanged for the third quarter of the year. In a statement issued on Wednesday, June 25, the PURC explained that the tariff adjustment is part of its quarterly tariff review mechanism, which considers key economic variables, including the Citi to dollar exchange rate, inflation, natural gas prices, and the electricity generation mix between hydro and thermal sources. According to the Commission, these factors significantly impacts the cost of delivering utility services and must be reviewed regularly to sustain the financial health of service providers. The PURC emphasized its commitment to balancing the interests of utility companies and consumers while ensuring reliable service delivery. So here's a breakdown of factors they considered. Key variables influencing the new electricity rates include exchange rates, which is 10.3 Ghana cedis per the US dollar, inflation rate of 20.67% projected annual average, and natural gas price of $7.7 per MMBTU, and hydrothermal mix 28.8%. Hydro 71.2% thermal. Outstanding revenue, which is 488 million cedis, carried over from previous quarters. Yes, the new electricity tariffs, lifeline customers, that's from 0 to 30 kilowatt hour, increase from 77.6 to 79.5 GHP/kW, Ghana pesos per kilowatt per hour.
So basically, this is very low increase. The 2.45% is not that wild. What about the petroleum one? The one that COPEC announced that will take place today.
Fuel prices.
We're told that that's 2% for petrol, 5% for diesel.
Exactly. And the projections from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, indicate that fuel prices are likely to increase at the retail stations from the first pricing window of July 1, 2025. And it starts today, or it should start Saturday. According to COMAC, petrol may witness a 2% increase, while prices of diesel could go up by 5%. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, will see a 1% increase in prices. This would be the first time since February 2025 prices of fuel will see an increase at the pumps.
Okay.
The chief executive of the chamber, Dr. Riverson Upon, disclosed this at a news conference in Accra.
Well, we also told some new taxes are kicking in. We are told the GRA will introduce a modified tax system aimed at improving tax compliance and revenue collection, particularly in the informal sector. We are told that workers who are informal, not registered under GRA, but earn annual sales below 20,000 will be required to pay a fixed quarterly tax between 25 and 45 cedis, which is 15% VAT, which is a flat amount. Then there's also a 15% VAT on non-life insurance premiums for property, health, and travel will be applied. So if you do travel insurance, you are paying 15% tax, property insurance 15% tax, health insurance 15% tax. This does not apply to motor insurance. Right. So a lot of things are taken off today. On the telco side, though, we're told that there's a decrease or an increase in the data bundle at the same price. So it's not a price reduction, but it's more like an upward adjustment. All right, let's bring tech and social media trends into the picture. We'll do some follow-up interviews on both matters. 8 o'clock. And it's sponsored by
Telecel and First Bank. First Bank is embarking on a journey to reconnect with you, our customers who haven't used their accounts for a while. Would love to have the opportunity to provide you with a gold standard of banking once again. Reactivate your dormant account at First Bank. Kindly visit our website or any of our socials. You have our link in the bio provided. Click on it and you're good to go. Pay us a visit at any of our branches nationwide. We'll be happy to serve you. 0596 921 921 is the number. First Solutions at firstbankgroup.com is the email address. First Bank, you first.
Edwin Kwakufi is joining us with the segment. Good morning, Edwin.
Good morning, Bernard. And as you mentioned earlier, it's Republic Day, restored as a holiday by the Public Holidays and Commemorative Days Bill. Of course, that holiday has been moved to Friday, as you said, as well. It's also the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. And it's also the first day of the second half of 2025. So there are lots of comments on social media talking about it. Moving away to the second biggest issue of the day and the data packages. Sam George is trending alongside some of the telcos, MTN, AT, Telecel, because last month, of course, the Minister of Communications, Sam George, announced that a deal had been struck with the various telcos for an upward adjustment in the size of data packages available to customers. So it took effect at midnight. The changes were between 10 and 15%. If you look at the smaller packages, you can't really see the changes, but the bigger ones are where you can tell there's an actual difference. So MTN, there are two, if you pay 399 CDs, you get 214 gigabytes. It used to be 350 CDs for 92 gigabytes. So a really big increase there. Telecel 250 gig for 400 CDs, and ATU gets 236 gigabytes for 400 CDs. And Sam George was tweeting all throughout the night, even at midnight. He said he was waiting for the telcos to make those changes. So
he also met DSTV management last week and asked them to consider reducing their subscription or whatever, monthly thingy.
Exactly. And one of the things that people are talking about online is how their advocacy online is actually making
forcing the minister to work. So they are moving it to other ministries as well, including their Greek ministry. They should move.
And very soon Galamsey will become a huge issue as well. So
I like it.
Yeah, moving away from that, Afro dancehall is trending.
Why?
So we know that Molly's hit Shake It to the Max is gaining quite a lot of attention worldwide. So the Billboard hip hop account on X posted that it had spent 6 weeks at the top of the US Afrobeat songs charts. So Stonebwoy, who is a big dancehall artist here in Ghana, he posted a screenshot of that post by Billboard and basically said that Afro dancehall was a term originated by him. And that he thanked Billboard for the recognition and said it would inspire others to also join the trend.
But is it true though that he introduced the term Afro dancehall?
Well, that's what sparked a conversation online. People are saying he's usurping the Samini's Samini introduced Afro dance hall. Other people are saying that on a tweet that's or post that's supposed to be acknowledging Molly, he's taking the attention away from her.
Why?
When he has basically, he's one of the biggest artists already. No need to do that. And he only had a line in that post that's credited Molly.
So they feel like
the other
you should not take somebody's glory. Somebody's glory is not when you should be telling us how good you are.
That he's only seeking self-acclamation with that tweet. So away from that, Club World Cup, some big upsets last night.
I woke up this morning to see Man City out.
Man City are out.
I wanted them to stay inside so that they'll get tired. I didn't want them to come. I want them to stay out to the final so that next season they'll start getting injuries.
But now they are out of the tournament. 4-3 to Saudi side.
Wow.
Al Hilal. It might seem like a shock on paper, but you take a look at Al Hilal's side.
Who are some of the players there?
And you have Cancelo, who used to play for Manchester City.
Koulibaly.
Malcolm,
Koulibaly is a former
Chelsea player. Napoli as well. Malcolm, who was one of the most sought after youngsters at the time. He was at Roma. Almost went to Chelsea at a point. Then you have Ruben Neves, who's of course a fantastic player.
He scored the winning goal for Portugal in their Nations League final penalty.
Exactly. And you have Bono, who is a Moroccan goalkeeper.
All right, so this is an experienced team.
This is a squad that could easily play in the Champions League and compete. So
what was the score?
It was 4-3 after extra time. So Manchester City are out of the tournament. Another shock, the Champions League runners-up, Inter, they are also out.
Who beat them?
Fluminense, Brazilian side. And of course, Thiago Silva is also a player for Fluminense.
He played for Fluminense?
Yes, he played
for
Chelsea player. Former Chelsea player. Champions League winner. So huge upsets there in the Club World Cup.
Are people happy that Chelsea, Man City are out?
People are very happy that Manchester City are out because it seemed as though they were back to
their favorites.
They were favorites because they had won all 3 of their group games and they looked like they were one of the teams going into the season that could cause maybe Liverpool and Arsenal a few problems in the league as well. But them losing to Al Hilal, it's dropped them down.
Saudi Arabia.
And people are saying Ronaldo may be right that the Saudi league is actually a good league, one of the best leagues in the world. So he's also
imagine if Ronaldo's team was in this tournament and they beat Man City and Messi's team was knocked out yesterday. Such a big story.
We'll be having good conversations again. So let's move to tech news.
All right.
So recently we've heard about updates to CapCut and other editing software's terms and how they might control or own your content if you use their services and how obviously their services are becoming very expensive to most people. So today I'm offering some alternatives to CapCut on mobile because a lot of Ghanaians use these editing software. So these services are free. UCut, in short. UCut.
Is Y-O-U?
Y-O-U.
Y-O-U.
And cut. C-U-T. In short.
I-N-S-H-O-T.
Yes. VN Video Editor.
VN Video Editor.
And Project Violet. These are free, no ads in service, so you can use them freely. But the one I use, which I feel is best, and you can pay a one-time premium for and own it forever. It's also free if you want to use it that way. It's Vita.
Vita.
V-I-T-A. And I think it's CapCut Lite.
Wow.
So you can
video
use
editing.
Use it as you do CapCut.
Does it provide text on the video as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that CapCut does, it does as well. One-off payment. Vita. Or you can use it for free if you want. No ads as well. So
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Edwin.
Very welcome.
There is small money, there is big money, and there is too much money. Telecel Too Much Money promo is here. Dial *500# to opt in. In the Telecel Too Much Money promo, you can win 100 Ghana cedis cash in the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis in the weekly draws, and 1.2 million Ghana cedis in the grand draw. That's 1.2 million Ghana cedis. Simply reload airtime to end point to stand a chance to win. Dial *500# or visit the Telecel Play app to opt in now for the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Since 1894,
we've witnessed the evolution of a brand and proudly partnered with its people on the path to prosperity. From the ink-stained ledgers of the past to the lightning-fast transactions of today, First Bank has consistently adopted, embracing innovation while cherishing the legacy of our heritage and making giant strides across the globe. It's not just about banking, it's about enabling your success generation after generation. Our legacy defined the past, shaped the present, and in 2094, we will still be fostering financial security and stability for future generations. We are helping to create a future where the possibilities are infinite, the opportunities borderless, and where the world looks up to Africa. Let's awaken the giant in you. You first. First Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME business card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302 680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
In every Ghanaian home, there's a trunk, not just of GTP fabrics, but also stories and tradition passed on from mother to daughter to help her discover herself, to shape her dreams and hopes, to usher her into becoming a woman wrapped in purpose. Celebrate every woman's journey of growth into womanhood with the new GTP Mother's Day collection, now available at all accredited dealers nationwide, the GTP retail store in Osu, and online at shop.gtpfashion.com. Verify authenticity by matching the code on the edge of the fabric with the code on the label. GTP, life styled.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
At the burn it on.
Mr. J, baby.
She prefers to get to life to that of the life them living in the estates. I'm gonna be my wife, so she not gonna break no rules that I state. Together like the sea and shore, stuck for eternity and yes for sure. I just have got to yearn for more, and don't bother about another girl about more. My girl, From the ghetto where we burn and grow. It's only our kind of love we know. Nothing gonna stop us now. We loving us till we grow.
My boy, from the ghetto where we born and grow. It's only our kind of love we know. Nothing's gonna stop us, no. We're loving us till we grow old, yeah.
I love you more.
8:15 on the City Breakfast Show, and talking about where you live. Imagine waking up to serenity every day, surrounded by nature's beauty and luxury at your fingertips. In a gated estate you could be proud to call your home. At Western Villas, located at Ayi Mensah, our stunning homes redefine elegance. Each home is a masterpiece, designed with precision and love. From swimming pool, gym, playground, beautiful landscape gardens, and private balconies, making every day feel like a retreat. We also have executive plots for sale at McCarthy Hill, strategically located and offer unparalleled views, easy access to amenities, and endless possibilities for executive living. With just 5% deposit, you can reserve your space. Contact us today and learn more about our luxury homes at Ayi Mensah or executive plots at McCarthy Hill. Call Western Villas on 053-650-2295 or visit westernvillas.com for more information. Lots of interesting reactions coming through on the discussion.
Yeah, that's true. This one.
If you just tuned in, we have two big issues. 1st July, lots of things are starting. We are talking about new tariffs coming up for electricity, fuel prices likely to go up, GRA introducing modified taxes announced in the budget but to be implemented starting today. 3, to note 15% VAT on life insurance premiums. We are told there's a 5% excise tax which is also kicking off today. And then of course there's a levy for informal sector people who pay a fixed quarterly tax between 25 and 45 cedis in place of the tax on their incomes. Then of course there are other things that are starting today, like telcos are implementing a government directive to increase data bundles effective 10 to 15% starting Tuesday, July 1. So on the 1st July, too many things happening. But on the slum issue as well.
Yeah, there's a comment here. Good morning. I'm listening to your show and relating to the slums, most residential areas in Ghana, and to throw a little light on this discussion, Tema is no exception, with very fast-growing slums in first-class residential areas like Tiobodom in Community 12, Saka in Community 6, and also slums in highly commercial and industrial areas like Community 5000 around the Port Enclave and Meridian Commercial Hub and Aigbe Town, close to Tamadiviale, heavy industrial area. These places need to be looked at and its impact on social, cultural development and national security. I was wondering whether there is Community 5000.
I think it's Community 5. Community 5.
I'm told there's actually 5,000, and that it's a notorious slum made up of hardened criminals operating in Community 1 and the Port Enclave, and the infamous Meridian Hotel has also been turned into sort of like a haven for, those kinds of activities.
Okay, so this person is texting from Tema and saying that the parts of Tema that have become a slum. Alfred Omensa Onuma says, good morning, Bernard. Listening to you and your team discuss the GSS report on slums is disheartening. In fact, I'm saddened while driving listening to you guys. 68 years of independence and 33 years in the Fourth Republic, and this is what we can say best about our country, Ghana. In my opinion, this proves to me that our decentralization drive has failed as well as our urban sustainability drive. God save Ghana. This is Alfred Mensa Onuma. And then East Legon even has slums. So Bernard, there's still electricity, there's prostitution, drug peddling, among others, happening even at East Legon. A couple more. Jojo is wondering whether we mentioned Nima as part of slums in Ghana. Well, this was online. We read it from an article.
Bernard, not to cut you, sorry. We understand how sensitive this is, but you just read a message that pointed to East Legon. So it's not really pointing fingers at certain areas, but it's talking about these areas where slums may be growing, or you may have slums near estates. So it's not particularly targeted at any community.
Yeah, Gideon Hammond is not happy. He says, did you say that there's flooding in Choco and that Koligono is a slum? It's well planned. Well, the article said parts of Koligono and Choco. So maybe the parts is not a slum area. I don't know. In slums, despite their precarious living conditions and lack of basics, they are the most happy and hopeful people living their best and living large. Slums truly define the paradox of happy peasants and miserable millionaires. Research the theory, paradoxes around the world. Lukman Abubakar, independent energy analyst. All right, I think I read this already. Well, the truth is that the conditions are clear. GSS says you have sanitation that's not up to the scratch.
So if it lacks access to improved drinking water, improved sanitation, durable housing, and sufficient living space, or any combination of these.
Well, I don't know why some people think that it's a
denigration.
For me, I feel like the discussion of it shouldn't be your problem. It's the enduring of it that should be the issue, right? So if people live in such conditions which have been identified by state agency to be slum conditions, I think we should take the news and work with it.
Yeah.
Half of the people in Accra live in slums. That's not good news. We need to improve. It's not resilient enough.
Yes, and I was looking at the etymology of the word slum. Okay, likely originated as a British slang in the early 19th century, possibly derived from the word slumber and slum, and initially referring to a back room or a narrow alley. Over time, it evolved to describe the poor and overcrowded urban areas that are commonly associated with the term today. Although that is evolving, because as we mentioned, areas like East Legon even have slums, there's still that negative association and connotation the word evokes.
But do you remember Sandra had been to Spintex, for example, and there was a huge kiosk estate, they called it, within the Spintex area. This is the very built area that is very lavish when you're driving by the road, but you go a few steps back and the conditions there are not very good. There are lots of kiosks, many migrants from all around the country moving to the center of the city looking for better economic opportunities. So the reality is that we've not been able to check our rural urban migration. A lot of people have moved in without places to lay their heads, and that also comes with the fact that then the sanitation situation gets poorer. More people are living in very confined areas, and that also has health implications for them and all. So we need to we are looking at this very dispassionately, and people should bring their minds to the conversation.
Let's help the discussion and improve our condition. Farouk Brahma is the executive director of People's Dialogue on Human Settlements. I've interviewed him many times on this type of topic, and the reason I'm calling him is, I don't know if you've seen the GSS report. Farouk, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Bernard. Yeah.
So the Ghanaian Times reports today from the Ghana Statistical Service that says about half of urban dwellers live in slums. The report is titled Slums and Informal Settlements in Ghana, and it gives 4 features of slums as places with lack of access to improved drinking water, lack of improved sanitation, lack of durable housing, and insufficient living space. Does this report agree with what you know? Because I know you work in this space for many years.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bernard. I think largely yes, and if not even more. The indicators that you find the Ghana Statistical Service employing are widely accepted global indicators that we all use. And if you were to go into the disaggregated data by settlement, these are aggregates. So if you went settlement by settlement, you may even find the figures to be higher. I have been looking at my data, which gives me up to 65% live in slums in the Greater Accra and the urban centers. Yeah, so it's consistent with what we have. Thank you.
Oh, wow. So for some places like Greater Accra, it could be more than the 50%. That suggests that then the trend is, the region is getting more and more slums, as in the percentage living in slums is growing based on the trend, right?
I think we need to deconstruct the word slum. I think it looks a bit derogatory, but that word, it's more about the phenomenon. It's an urban poverty. Just call it poverty. Okay, so rather than using the word slums, which is very unique because of its spatial dimension, I would rather want people to address their minds to service deficits. So if you watch the indicator, these are key indicators that every human being in society needs to function. Drinking water, basic. Sanitation, basic. Housing, basic. And then insufficient living areas because of health issues. So if you are overcrowded in a room, your possibility of disease transmission, the communicable ones, are very high. So your health is compromised. If your housing is poor, you are not able to get good employment. You have nowhere to cover yourself against rain and bad weather. If you don't have sanitation, basic sanitation is toilet, dignity and hygiene. You have lost it. Environmental sanitation, we've lost it. You go to drainage, the floodings that you see every day are as a result of lack of drainage. So these four basic elements paints a picture of the face of urban poverty. It is poverty. So Ghanaians are getting poorer.
You are right. The report actually said that there are deep development gaps and that multidimensional poverty in slum areas is more than twice that of non-slum areas. And then they also talk about low education and stuff. So I think you're right, service delivery. But my question is, why has it been so difficult to improve people's access to these basic things? Water, sanitation, housing, and living space. This seems to be the basics. And yet it looks like it's getting more and more difficult. Is it a population issue? Is it lack of leadership at the local level? Why are we having more than 60% of people in our region, for example, living in these conditions?
One of the key points I would want to raise this morning, even though it's a bit getting better, we don't have any slum policy in this country. As a whole country, we've been battling with issues of urban poverty since I got onto the scene in the early 1990s, 1999, 2000, when we started talking about the issues of deepening and increasing urban poverty, where poverty was moving from the rural areas and then you having it more in the urban centers. Since the 2000 years that we talked about, we still do not have an operational slum upgrading or slum policy that guides government intervention. So that's one key. The one key point is that as a country, I'm aware that some efforts have been put in by the UN Habitat and other partners and the local government ministry, where there is a draft national slum upgrading and prevention strategy. I think that document must be given some oxygen and be implemented at the district level. That is one. Two, the second issue has to do with investments. As a country, we have not really invested so much in these key areas in a coordinated manner. You realize that each of these facilities, they work interconnectedly. So issues of drain, issues of transport, sanitation, housing, living conditions, all work within a certain networked arrangement. So if you silo and you try to compartmentalize the services, you don't get the best out of it. So I think another point is that we need to begin to see this whole component in a more coordinated, integrated approach. Planning, social planning. Look, for a very long time, our fiscal plans haven't been implemented. Most of the district assemblies, when we check, do not have the fiscal plans that are required for these services to be implemented. So land use and planning is also key. These are mandates that sit within the city authorities. Again, it tells you that our local governance are not working. The decentralization is not really producing the improved service delivery, because most of these mandates were actually transferred from the central government to the local government. Right from 1988 to 2003 at 462 to the 936, we are continuously moving away services from center to the staff national, the district. Unfortunately, there are huge funding gaps. There are unmet mandates. These are mandates that are not funded, and you expect progress in these areas. So, Bernard, I think these are issues that we will need to have a more frontal and coordinated approach to, get the policy running, get the districts to do that, and then I believe some education is required. But it is poverty. It is exclusion. It is about power. It's about what our elites want to see happening on the ground. And they use these kinds of basic service and lack of services to canvass for votes and elections and power. And you find politicians who would want to use, I will provide you water. It's so basic. And then they want votes because they will be providing you water or toilets. I'm sorry, but that is the problem. It has become one of the assets that politicians and elites use, and in the clientelist mood to get votes from the poor people. So keep them poor and continue to provide them some promises of giving them some water somewhere, and then they vote for you in return.
Final question: which agency do you think should own this process of? You said we needed a policy on slums, for example. This process of reducing the exclusion and the lack of service delivery. Is it the local government ministry? Is it the district assemblies? Is it the president? Who should we target with our advocacy to begin some work to stop this urban problem?
Like I said, stopping would be very, very difficult. I think what we're talking about is to improve the living standard of everybody living everywhere. It's about getting the basics right. These are so basic: water, sanitation, housing, livelihoods is missing in this conversation. I felt that one of the issues that also defines the absence of this is also about livelihood, people's daily livelihoods. The youth are becoming very disillusioned. Poverty is becoming rife in the urban areas. The National Development Planning Commission, which provides the blueprint for development, is very key in this conversation. The Ministry for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Regional Affairs is very instrumental because they are driving the issues of local governance and decentralization. So I see the ministry. There's new ministries that have been created. Now we have the sanitation under the local government ministry. That is key. So the local government ministry is very critical. The housing ministry, there's a ministry for housing. Yes, they are also very critical to this conversation. Then you would also talk about the employment. I find that as a tickling time bomb. The youths are getting very, very, if you like, disconnected from the center. And so I think they are losing hope in the system. There are no jobs and people want to find some jobs to do. So local economic development is very key. And so I will go for the Ministry of Finance, has a role to play in all of this. Then CSOs, those of CSOs that are very involved in these basic services that we have just mentioned, like my group, the Slum Direct International. The UN Habitat has been very critical in the areas of slum upgrading. And a host of others, yourselves, the media. Please, we need to begin to talk about this. Way back in 2016, Bernard, myself and you and Citi FM, we used to have what we call the Urban Mess series. And you remember, during those times, we had every Wednesday we were in studio to talk about
clearing the urban mess and discussing. We did a lot of work. My brother.
Exactly. So these kinds of conversations must be reactivated. All is not lost. It's not a very damning verdict. It just tells us that we need to act. And acting means that these key stakeholders that I've identified, we need to have some conversations. The policy must be up there. Investments must happen, and I believe we will get better. Thank you.
Thank you, Farouk Brahma, who is the Executive Director of People's Dialogue on Human Settlements and Slum Dwellers International. He's been working with us on a number of these topics. I think the starting point is toilets. I really, really think so. I feel like we need to do a national advocacy on getting clean, healthy toilets everywhere. That's the starting point for civilization. For me, then we can get into the housing issue, because housing is a bit more difficult, but obviously water has a more complicated way of dealing.
Basic amenities.
Yeah, but I feel like toilet is unpardonable to have people of our ilk in society, and the lack of toilets even in our public spaces. So bad indeed. You can send us your thoughts 05499869996. How do I start it? Do I come every morning and just repeat the same point, or should we get some people to start building some new types of toilets in some of our deprived communities to make it more accessible? We need some answers.
Bernard,
yes please,
let me bring you this article or story from the website of the Ministry of Local Government.
All right.
This is dated 15th May 2025. 2-day stakeholder workshop opens in Accra to validate National Slum Upgrading and Prevention Strategy.
Okay.
A 2-day national stakeholder validation workshop on the National Slum Upgrading and Prevention Strategy, NSUPS, has officially opened at the Institute of Local Government Studies, ILGS, in Accra.
Okay.
The event, spearheaded by the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, that's MLGCRA, is being held in collaboration with UN Habitat. The workshop aims to finalize the NSUPS document through extensive consultation and collective input, ensuring that the strategy is inclusive, practical, and grounded in the realities of urban Ghana. The NSUPS is a key national policy framework designed to improve living conditions in existing slums and prevents the emergence of new ones, an objective that aligns with Sustainable Development Goal 11, that is to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. Delivering a keynote address on behalf of the Chief Director of the Ministry, Mr. Amin Abdul Rahman, the Director in charge of Local Governance and Decentralization, Pin Samuel Seth Pasa, highlighted the urbanization challenges confronting Ghana. He noted that more than 56% of the population now resides in urban areas, with projections suggesting this figure could rise to 65% in the near future. He therefore stressed the importance of a well-structured and actionable strategy to guide the physical development of cities and equitable provision of services.
That's an interesting one. So there's a policy actually. You know, he was saying there was no slum policy. What's the name of this policy you read?
This is the
It's a strategy.
It is a policy.
Okay, it's called
the NSUPS. That's the National Slum Upgrading and Prevention Strategy.
So there is a policy, National Slum Upgrading and something strategy. All right, let's hear from you on this matter. I know you're very interested in this discussion.
Yeah, you know, Kibera is the largest slum
in Africa. It's in Kenya, right?
Yeah, we drove past Kibera the other time, and the Uber driver was telling us that some affordable housing units were put up to relocate some of the dwellers into those. Now, what happened was that many of the people who were beneficiaries then rented out those spaces.
Oh God!
Took the money and went back.
Oh God!
To where they live because it's a lifestyle, it's a mindset, it's a way of life.
Oh Lord!
So if people have lived in a slum area, like proper slum, for a long time, and you're asking them to go use WCs, have lights, and put off all those things, it requires some mindset shift and some behavioral change.
Is he saying all of them did or some?
No, some of them did. Some of them.
Because I'm sure there are some who would be happy
who would have
to take the house.
Yes. So, but the other challenges were also that with the new housing, then it became too expensive for many to afford, and there were other challenges like you have to relocate people sometimes, and people often didn't feel the sense of community that they feel within the slum. So it's something that I'm sure Farouk, Brahima, and people within the space have done more research on it to help with how we can, as it were, migrate people from such places, because even after you've provided the infrastructure and all, there is more you need to do on the social psyche of the people so that they embrace the change that you want for them. But the other point he made with respect to service delivery, right? Basic things like you talk about toilet, like water. We should not use these things to, that tokenism thing and clientelism where, vote for me, I'll bring you water and I'll build toilets for you. That part, I think it's not fair to limit a good number of people to such places. But of course, we also know that when the migration is happening in droves, then people start building community around such places. Then they come demanding for these other basic things. It becomes difficult.
A couple of people are saying to me that the children are back in the streets. The ones we made noise about, some of whom were supposedly sent back to Niger and other places. I'm getting videos sent from listeners suggesting that some of these kids are back in the traffic, selling and begging, and essentially being at the wrong place. All right.
In fact, last week I was in traffic around Asylum down, driving, and the traffic light turned red, and this young girl, stood by my window holding things she's supposedly selling, but from her face you could see that she was not interested. And I was eating plantain chips. So I looked at her and I winked. in non-verbal communication. Do you want it?
Yeah.
And she nodded. And I rolled down and gave it to her. And the speed with which she grabbed it and ran off to go and eat.
So she was hungry.
She was hungry, and somebody has put her there to sell. And in fact, the fact is that they are back. They started coming back, I think, from last week.
In the same
or 2
numbers
weeks.
or gradually?
It's a gradual return. So you
no.
see fewer numbers now. Obviously, if nothing is done, the numbers will rise up.
Oh Lord, let's come to tax. So this morning we are saying July 1 is also a number of things happening. Some are within the purview of the oil marketing companies, some under the purview of PRC, but there are some which are under the purview of the GRA, and we're told that a modified tax system aimed at improving tax compliance and revenue collection from the informal sector begins today. Today is 1st July, but there are two other things. We're told there's a 15% VAT on non-life insurance premiums, excluding motor, to be implemented starting today. And some manufacturers are also complaining about a 5% excise tax to take effect from today. Who is on the line? We have Dr. Alex Combat, Assistant Commissioner and Head of Research and Policy Unit at GRA. Good morning, sir. Thanks for joining the program.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Great to have you. Yes.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning to all your listeners.
It looks like today is Armageddon. A number of things are happening today. Fuel prices slightly going up, tariffs going up, and some taxes will also take effect. Now, let's start with the modified tax system, which you are saying will enhance tax compliance. Has this always been in the budget, and what do we mean by a modified tax system?
Oh, thank you very much. So, GRA actually is expected to collect taxes from the informal sector. So first of all, we have the regulated informal sector taxpayers and then unregulated. When we say regulated, we're just talking about those who have registered their entities with the Registrar of Companies or the Registrar General Department. So they are the regulated. So for those, it is not much a problem to us because we just give them assessment and then they can go ahead and then pay. But the modified taxation regime is actually targeting the informal sector taxpayers who are not regulated. So meaning they have not actually registered their entities with the Registrar of Companies. So we have come up with a tax regime very flexible for them. And it is basically tax on turnover. So that is what the modified taxation is all about. So if I can actually take you through.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we have informal taxpayers who have turnover between 20,000 and 500,000. If you have a turnover between 20,000 and then 500,000, it is just 3% of the turnover. But those who have turnover or their turnovers are below the 20,000, what it means is that they are going to be on fixed amounts. So that is what it is all about. So the fixed amount ranges from 25 Ghana cedis to 45 Ghana cedis, depending on the turnover. So if your turnover is below 20,000, then you are going to be on fixed amount. So those whose turnovers are between 15,000 and then 20,000, they'll be paying 45 Ghana cedis. And those whose turnovers are between 10,000 and 15,000, they'll be paying 35 Ghana cedis. And those whose turnovers are between 5,801 and then 10,000, they'll be paying 25 Ghana cedis. So that is what.
And this is a flat flat amount per month or per year?
It is per quarter.
Per quarter.
Yes.
Somebody will ask, somebody who turnover is between 10 and 20K, that's like 1,000 cedis to 1,600 cedis per month in terms of business operation. Why on earth are you even thinking of taking money from such people? When you have people with property all over the town who are not even being taxed, property tax is not really being collected, why are you collecting 40 cedis from somebody whose monthly turnover is less than 2,000 cedis?
Oh, actually, when it comes to tax payment, I mean, it should be fair. Everybody is supposed to contribute his or her quota to the development of the country. So irrespective of your income, so far as you are earning income, you are also supposed to contribute your quota to the development of the country. So you're talking about big entities. They are all part of the tax net. And we also want to bring the informal sector to be part of the tax net. So it is basically tax fairness. So somebody doesn't say, I'm paying. No, the other person is not paying. So it's to bring fairness when it comes to tax administration.
I understand. I was just saying that for somebody whose turnover is below 20,000 cedis, it seems really poor. I mean, fine, you can say they need to pay, no problem. The other point I wanted to raise was we are told that there's a 15% VAT on non-life insurance premiums, which will start from today. Why are we charging VAT on non-life insurance premiums?
Oh, actually, when it comes to VAT, VAT is actually imposed on taxable supplies. So the taxable supplies could be goods, and then it could also be related to services. So premiums that people pay, actually, there are services being provided. So we expect them to pay VAT on that. So that is what it is basically about. So here we are talking about the non-life insurance. So theft, fire, flood, vehicle. So if you are paying premium, so we expect you to pay 15% VAT on that. The law has been in existence for a very long time. That is the VAT Amendment Act 2025. That is Act 1133. So it has been in existence. So it's just enforcing the law.
I see. You are not the policy maker, but some would say that with Ghana's insurance penetration so poor and insurance companies trying hard to mobilize more insurance, will this not be a disincentive for the companies? And you are looking at the insurance premium on property, insurance premium on health, and travel. I mean, these are areas where the companies will say, we want to grow the insurance sector here, and you are placing a 15% VAT. Have you thought about the potential effect on insurance compliance?
Actually, as I said, when you look at our VAT Act, it requires us to actually impose taxes on services provided. So it is something that has been with us for a very long time. So if an insurance company is providing a service and we expect tax to be paid on it, they have to understand this. So it's just like we buy goods and services and then we pay VAT on such goods and goods. So it's the same when we buy or when we are provided with a service, we're required to pay VAT on that as well. So it is not actually going to increase the premium that much.
15% is pretty high. I mean, fair enough. Now let's talk about excise tax. We are told that there's an excise tax to be implemented starting today as well, and plastic manufacturers are not happy with it. They say that it will increase the price of locally manufactured plastic products by as much as 7%. What's the background to this excise tax, and why are plastic manufacturers supposed to pay it?
Oh, actually, this tax has been in existence for a very long time. It was first passed in 2010. You see, so it has been in existence for a very long time. So when it started, it was 20% on ex-factory price of plastics, and then in 2012 it was reduced to 15%, and then 2013 it was reduced to 10%. So actually it was being imposed at the cost. So if you import plastic, then you pay 10%. So since 2013, it has been 10% on plastics imported. But 2023, there was an amendment to that law. So we had excise duty amendment number 2. That was 1108. And 1108 was just to broaden the tax net. And so it included plastics that actually packed in or items that are actually packed in plastic. which hitherto were not being taxed. And then it was extended to the domestic production of plastic. So this is actually the background. So it has been with us for a very long time. The plastic manufacturers, they know about this tax. The only thing is that it has been extended to local production. That is the ex-factory prices of the local production of plastics.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, right? You can impose it on plastics imported and we can understand. But local manufacturers will say they employ people and we are a country that's trying to industrialize. Why are you going to impose, why are you extending this tax to the manufacturers? How can they compete with the cheap imports? I think that's the problem.
Actually, you see, when it comes to the excise taxes, we have a lot of them. We have excise tax on alcohol, excise tax on sugar sweetened beverages, excise tax on tobacco, excise tax on malt, alcoholic beverages, and plastics is just one of the items that attract the excise tax. So it is usually based on the fact that the product that you are producing has some effect on man or the environment, and so it must attract some excise tax. So that is the reason for imposing the excise tax on the plastics. Then, as I said, it has been with us for a very long time, and it's just to ensure that plastics produced are actually managed very well.
Okay.
So that is the essence of the tax.
Final thought. Why are all of these taking effect from July 1? This is the beginning of, I think, the Q3. We have the modified tax system for informal sector starting today. The extension of excise tax to the plastic guys starting today. The 15% VAT on non-life insurance starting today. And I've already pointed out that quite a number of increases have also happened, so that people who pay for electricity will pay a bit more starting today, and fuel prices likely to go up as well today. Is it just a coincidence, or is July 1 a special day that everybody needs to because we became a republic, so we should pay we should pay for our life, so everything is July 1?
Oh, actually, it's purely coincidental. GRA has been preparing for these taxes for a very long time. You see, when you take the informal sector taxes, for instance, we had what we call the tax stamp. That was the stamps that were given to the informal sector players to be placed on their shops. It has been with us for a very long time. Unfortunately, when we had the COVID, there was suspension of the tax. And then I think 2021, 2022, thereabout, it was lifted. So you can imagine, so 2022, up to date, it has been education, trying to educate people on the modified taxation. So when the suspension was lifted, we decided not to collect the tax in the traditional way. So we decided to do the modified taxation, which I've just explained. So for the past 3 years, it has been education. So this is the right time that we feel we can actually implement the tax. So it's purely coincidental. And then all the other taxes, we have been engaging relevant stakeholders, educating them. That is what we've been doing all this while. And it is time for us to actually start implementing. So it's purely coincidental.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Alex Combat, Assistant Commissioner and Head of Research and Policy, GRA. So there you have it. We've been planning this for a very long time. I think that's the answer we take from this. Everything has been on the books for a very long time. It just so happens that July 1 is the date of implementation. A few more comments coming through, particularly on the slum discussion. 0549986996. You can send us some thoughts. Somebody says, Bernard, unfortunately, these areas you describe as slums are where a lot of the foods we eat at our offices come from. So think about that. Now, a few more comments.
Okay, John KM from Singapore says, good morning, Bernard and team.
Morning.
If you travel on the highway from Senegal's DSS airport to Dakar, there are rest stops with clean public toilets along the way. In Singapore, the public parks where people go for BBQ and weekend hang around have clean public toilets with drinking water taps. We need to redesign our highways with such, and not people jumping off buses to do number 2 in the bushes. John KM, Singapore. This one says, I think we can consider how Singapore fixed their slums. It requires real effort and law enforcement. Hi, Bernard. Was there something like a Zongo Development Fund in the past government? Accountability is necessary. James from Pokwasi sends that one. I agree with Farouk Brahma. Precisely why I am fully against the electing of MCEs, as we have moved service management closer to people, i.e. from central to MMDAs. We do not have leaders equipped for development planning. My solution will be to center development around the regional ministers who supervise technocrats at the MMDAs, all aligned to a national development plan. Partisanship influenced development will not work. And that's KBK from Tema.
Let's come back to the tax issue. Ebo Bochwe is the president of the Association of Plastic Manufacturing Companies. They are not happy that starting today, a 5% excise tax will be applied on locally manufactured plastic products. They think it is inflationary and completely unfair. Mr. Bochwe, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Bernard. It's always a good feeling to speak to you.
Likewise, I just spoke to a researcher at GRA who says the excise tax has been on our books for a very long time. It just so happens that they are extending it to plastic manufacturers for July 1. So you shouldn't be surprised. And he does not think that the complaint about unfairness is necessarily grounded. Not his words, but my paraphrasing of what he said. What is the real grievance of the plastic manufacturers?
You know, it's a complex syndrome. We seriously compete with imported finished products, which do not fall under this activity, this enforcement. So already we are reeling from unfair competition from imported products. Since last year, this issue of 5% excise tax came up. We had some conversation with the previous government. It got hanging. Somehow it got hanging. Everybody went to sleep on this until a month and a half ago, from nowhere, we started getting, we call it love letters from GRA. Could you imagine penalties amounting to about 285 million Ghana cedis splashed on a company for not collecting or for not implementing the 5% excise tax. Indeed, if you sell off the company and it's whatever it has, it cannot even pay even 10% of that money. So we really startled. So we went into conversation with Ministry of Finance, because GRA told us that they are implementers. They implement the tax law. So it is the Ministry of Finance that comes up with the law. We've tried. The Honorable Minister is an excellent person. He's giving us an audience a couple of times, and we've engaged the Ministry of Finance. We had come up, since last year, we did come up with, for us, a better proposal that would probably even bring much more revenue than the 5% on the locally manufactured product. And it's just like dilly-dallying in there. So we've gotten to a stage. We want to be law-abiding as far as the tax laws are concerned. We have no choice than to start implementing. It is 5%. On record, it's supposed to be 5%. But then we have what we call tax on tax. So we'll tax the VAT, will tax the NHIS, will also tax the Get Fund and any other accompanying tax. So cumulative, it comes to 7%. And we do about 57% of our production goes into export. So again, it means that we're going to be out of the export market, because if you're going to pay all these taxes and then we export, obviously it will not be viable in there. So we are still hoping, Bernard, that government will probably reconsider. We've sent a petition to the President, His Excellency, the President. We are hoping that government will call us in, probably still put it on hold, and then see a better way of going about it.
All right. What kind of plastic materials are we talking about, or products?
Everything. At the moment, we are paying 10% environmental excise tax on selected plastic packaging that is supposed to have some negative environmental impact. But this time round, it is everything. So your PVC pipes that you're going to put in your building construction that is supposed to be stay there for till the kingdom come, or the poly tank, or the plastic furniture, these doesn't have any environmental impact. If we understand the law, I mean the phrase or the language excise, it means something that is injurious to human health or to the environment. But then if you have a building that is going to have a PVC pipe in there, or you're going to use PVC pipes or plastic pipes to connect your water from Ghana Water to your house, I mean, where would these ones have an impact? So we think that the law needs to be refined, needs to be reviewed. And then again, this law technically is supposed to be a consumer tax. So for us as manufacturers, we are not supposed to be bothered, because we are supposed to collect it from the final consumer and then pass it on to government. But I would think that it will affect the consumer's purchasing power. And if the consumer is not there, we don't have any business being there. So we think it is still not too late, and that government could rethink, look at it, and then we can come up with something.
Just give me a sense of the market. So when we come to plastics, what percentage of the plastics we use in Ghana or products are manufactured locally versus imported? That's question one. And question two, the 5% excise tax, I suppose, affects imported plastics as well. So that should not necessarily disadvantage you, because it's for all plastic products, correct?
Fantastic. So let me start with your second question. It's supposed to affect imported product as well. But as of this minute, where probably as of close of yesterday, they are not implementing it at the port. That puts us at a huge disadvantage. And then your point, number one, at least about 89% of all industries in Ghana depend on plastic packaging. Pharmaceuticals, I mean, it's 100%. You take the beverages, the FMNCs, every company, be it food, be it medicine, be it engineering, be it construction, every company depend on plastic packaging. So yes, it's a huge thing. We don't seem to really look at what plastics offer us. We only look at the negative side of it, the sachet water, the PS, the shopping bags. But then factors, plastics really carry us along a lot. So if we have to splash the 7% across, the ripple effect is going to be quite enormous.
I see. Finally, the president gave indication that certain types of plastics would be banned. I think he mentioned styrofoam that we use to package food. generally, globally, your industry seems to be very unpopular in terms of its non-biodegradability. So that you're already in an industry which should be thinking of finding new things to produce, because people are looking for things that do not pollute that much. How is the plastic manufacturing industry in Ghana preparing for this obvious transition?
Fantastic. Just last Thursday, we had a meeting with the Honorable Minister for Environment, Honorable Mubarak. We formed a working group. We're going to look into this and then come up with initiatives, alternatives, and the best practices that will manage all these, not only the PS, but then what is popularly called orphan plastics, all these flying plastics and all that. We have some proposals that we've already given to the ministry, but we'll have a look at it, get a review, and then see the way forward. We also show concern, we take concern of this. And the factors, we are just doing about 16,000 metric tons a year on PS. What comes in as imported is more than what we produce. So, in fact, we suggest to the minister that can we immediately start even placing a ban on import? Let's see what we produce here. Let's see what we can do to manage and to mitigate it. So, yes, we are in touch with government, and then we'll do the needful.
Thank you, Ebo Botre. Always good talking to you. We will be following the advocacy and see how far it goes.
Thank you very much.
Ebo Botre is the president of the Plastics Manufacturers Association of Ghana. They are not happy with a 5% excise tax that has been extended to them, which has been in existence, according to my guest Alex Combat, for a very long time. All right, it's 5 minutes past 9. City Breakfast Show, a mix of issues. Half of urban dwellers in Accra live in slums. Indeed, according to Farouk Brahma, it could be more, almost 60%. And he says even though slums are derogatory terms, we know what it means is poverty, is exclusion, is deprivation. 4 basic things to look at: drinking water, sanitation, durable house, sufficient living space. I think we need to start an advocacy on proper toilets in Ghana. I'll spend time on that on a different day. We've also been discussing the confluence of increases. GRA has some new taxes, not really new, they're in the law already, but the date for increase or the date for application, 15% VAT
on non-life insurance,
5% VAT on, or 5% excise tax on a number of products starting today, and then the new informal tax regime modified so that people within lower income brackets can also pay a little to help develop the country. We also have slight tariff adjustments in the electricity, less than 3%. Water has seen no change. Fuel prices also to go up between 2 and 5%. But we have good news. Data bundles are getting bigger. I'm not hearing people commend Mr. Samuel George for this, but I'm told a lot of advocacy has led to this. And last 2 weeks, the telcos agreed to increase the data bundles by 10 to 15%. Not too bad. Maybe you should buy me a bundle so I can check if it's taking off. All right, I have a lot of interviews coming up this morning. For those of you who are interested in events, there's a big event coming up. It's the Ghana Investment Trade Week, 3 days power-packed event that brings Africa's investment future to life. I'll be speaking to Zahur Ahmed on this. And then I'll be speaking to the Ebusia Penny of the Mfantsipim fraternity. The thousands of Mfantsipim Apim. I think that's the meaning. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Mfantsipim School. I don't know why people call it Mfantsipim when it's Mfantsipim.
I'm sure it's the Achimota people.
Achimota people. Meanwhile, this is Achimota.
But now when it comes to Fanti,
Talk to me.
There's this, call it maybe stereotype, but there's this perception that when it comes to Fantis, they like to mix English with a Fanti.
Is it a stereotype or a truism?
I don't even know.
Oh, but you are a Fanti. You are Fanti inside out.
Into you kind of Fanta. Because Fantipim.
Thank you.
But
Can you bro?
Switch.
A switch.
It's a switcher. Mfantsipim.
Thank you. You mean
a switcher?
A switcher. Oh Lord, Jale, the way you transition between English and Twi is amazing. A switcher.
A switcher.
Ankasa Echo School, bay. Yes. Awankasa. Abba school nekoi.
I'm a call Holy Child.
Inyo.
No one's smiling.
So the inyo be what?
Inyo is like, yeah, okay.
Oh my God, Charlie! I need a whole course. Inyo. It means yes. Oh Lord. So we're speaking to the Busapenyo Mfantsipim Moses Bading, and we are discussing the legacy of a man for whom a new book has been written. Now, those of you know a bit of history. F.L. Battels. F.L. Battels is a really, really great man who built, on the foundation, some of the previous heads of the school. Do you know that the first headmaster of the school, how old do you think he was? The
22?
First? No.
20? 19?
He was 18.
18.
Oh, yeah.
He was a French guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
His name is
Picot.
Yes.
18-year-old guy. Yeah. So, Charlie, the school has a very interesting history.
Professor Dubois has some history.
Yeah. And the school has produced some illustrious sons. Of course, I think the greatest being Kofi Annan.
Yeah, man.
No, actually, Mensa Saba.
Yes.
Mensa Saba is...
Mensa Saba is a foundational member of that community. So I don't know whether it's Mensa Saba. I think Kofi Annan and Mensa Saba in the same breath. Obviously, a few other names there. We'll come to all of that when we come back. City Breakfast Show, 10 minutes past 9. Don't go away.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
World number one Brown Hire LED TV and home appliances got mega up to 5,000 cities price drop at all Electromat showrooms. First time to shop higher air conditioner, LED TV, refrigerators, washing machine, chest freezer, range of appliances at unbeatable prices on every purchase. Exclusively at showrooms. Rush now while stock lasts. Check our website and social media pages for more details. Electromat, your world of electronics.
Oh, right into the pond.
Of course, a pro indeed, Andy.
Another message? Oh, wait, not again.
Why, what's wrong?
We've exceeded our fuel budget by 15,000 Ghana cedis this month. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's crazy. Just for a few vehicles?
Exactly. We spend so much on fuel, but I don't even know where it's going.
I had the same problem until Instroma GPS saved me. Their fuel monitoring system stops fuel theft and wastage, saving me thousands, bro.
Really?
Yeah. It paid for itself in months. Plus, I get monthly reports that track every drop of fuel. Hey, I don't go lose God.
Oh.
Take control of your fuel costs today. Get a free demo of Instroma's fuel monitoring system. Call 024-676-7662 now. Instroma GPS. Your choice. Your savings.
Where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Time check is 13 minutes past 9. City Breakfast Show, and I'm sure you've heard this already, that between the 2nd and 4th July, the Accra International Conference Center will host the Ghana Investment Trade Week. 3 power pack days, bringing Africa's investment future to life. And with over 1,500 delegates, 200 plus B2B matchmaking sessions, over 100 expert speakers, and 60 plus exhibitors, this is where ideas ignite action. And I have in studio the Vice President for Strategy and Partnerships for the event, Zahur Ahmed.
Good morning.
Did I get that right?
You did perfectly.
How are you doing?
Very well. Glad to be back in Ghana again.
Always good to see you. So it looks like it's getting bigger and better.
Yeah, we've been very blessed with obviously the continuing partnership with both government and our obviously strategic partner Ghana Chamber of Industry. But I think Ghana is leading the way in terms of kind of foreign direct investments in West Africa. So yeah, we're really excited to be back.
So what are the key investment opportunities in Ghana that will be showcased at this event?
Well, the summit reflects the market conditions in Ghana. We're focusing on obviously infrastructure key projects. We have obviously the Africa Build Show, which is construction elements, as well as the megawatt, which is energy. Those are the 4 key industries that's going to be driving Ghana's kind of economy. And we have a kind of platform that represents industry, government, private sector that will be supporting that growth. And our mandate is very simple, is we encourage investment into Ghana to support those project developments.
Amazing.
And that's the focus of the Ghana Investment Trade Week Summit.
Does the Africa Continental Free Trade Area have any role to play in this conversation, and how will it be leveraged at the week?
AFCTDA is a fantastic opportunity, not only for Africa but also for the source markets that's going to drive investment into it. And the AFCTDA's framework is now in full motion. And I think from key markets outside from the GCC, from kind of Asia, and obviously from the US, any policy that gives an investment entity, be it a government or industry, confidence that the regulations and the support and especially money moving into the country is going to be welcomed. So we are very happy to be always plugging and promoting AFCTA, not only in this country, in all of the African countries that we operate in.
What are the major challenges facing investments in Ghana, and how can this week help address these challenges?
Most projects, it is all about consistency, it's about policy, it's about infrastructure support. And where we've been blessed in terms of GITW being supported by the senior government level, plus also the industry, those confidence factors are very important. And obviously when we operate on a global level, those are the first kind of key factors that we make sure that are there. So when investors looking at any one of our trading platforms, they know they're supported, and they'll be given kind of exclusive kind of access. They'll be given information regarding the free zones in terms of infrastructure projects, be they PPP or just part of the standard kind of projects that are developing. So confidence in those things, in terms of regulations, in terms of policies, but also what projects are taking place over the next 5 to 10 years. If the projects are continuing, that shows economic growth. And investments likes economic growth because obviously from a business perspective, they will be supporting that as both if it's IP technology transfer or actual physical investment.
Interesting stuff. We're speaking to the Vice President of Strategy and Partnerships for the Ghana Investment Trade Week. It's a 3-day power-packed event bringing Africa's investment future to life here in Ghana with over 1,500 delegates, many matchmaking sessions, very interesting live exhibitions, sector awards, all of that happening between tomorrow and Friday. Let's talk about when the event is, how can people take part?
Yes. It's 2nd to the 4th. Literally, it starts very, very soon. It is being hosted at the Grand Arena, which obviously is part of the AICC, and that's been our home for the last kind of few years. And we're very happy with that, and obviously it's surrounded by obviously both Parliament. So we are encouraging all of obviously professionals, kind kind of delegate, project owners, procurement directors, anyone within the sphere of investment coming into Ghana, working on projects, be it in energy, in terms of construction. But also we have all of the, I think, 15 industry members supporting us, from the architects, from the, construction, from the transportation, from the roads and highways. So their members are already been invited. So, the figures hopefully will be in a few thousand. But the most important mandate is bring Ghana back on the map globally from obviously within our network. And we want to make sure that, both visitors are registered early, obviously, but they can come to the arena on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We have a phenomenal packed agenda. We're very blessed. We have over 4 or 5 ministers attending. We have 2-3 ambassadors attending, and all of the CEOs and chairmen for the industries that representing the global awareness of how and which direction Ghana is going. So,
how do people register though? Is there like a pre-registration protocol? Is there? How do you?
GITWsummit.com. That's the
GITWsummit.com. Simple.
Yes, very simple.
All right. Now, what category of people should be interested? Is it investors? Is it entrepreneurs? Is it policy makers? Who should be interested and why?
All the above, plus, as mentioned, project owners, people and businesses looking for partnership, and that's where the international element, obviously from Asia, from obviously Southeast Asia, from obviously North Africa, those companies are coming here to do business. So if there is a kind of project owner that is looking to develop their projects, both from investment capital, but also in terms of new partnerships, we were very happy to meet them. And that's why I know you mentioned the business-to-business matchmaking. We have some phenomenal business-to-business matchmaking taking place, packed over 3 days. That's where the real business is going to be get done. We've identified some really high-profile VIP buyers, not only for obviously the national partners that are taking place, but also for the kind of international element as well.
And beyond the conference, there's exhibitions as well.
Absolutely. So the summit has always been the driving factor of the GITW summit, but the exhibition, because at the end of the day, if you're coming, you want to see some products. You want to see some, innovations and technology. So we'll have over 75 plus exhibitors kind of taking place from different countries. And again, innovation is key. Innovation is what drives projects, and that's what we.
What are they coming to show? What are some of the things they'll be exhibiting?
Construction material, technologies, building materials as well, energy solutions.
So it's very heavy on energy, on infrastructure, on building construction.
Which is what's needed in Ghana.
To rebuild their country.
Absolutely.
That's where the rubber meets the road. Now, what about SMEs, startups? There are lots of them. Can they have a place in this?
SMEs are always been the engine of every economy.
All right.
So as an organization, we predominantly focus on SMEs. Now, obviously, SMEs in Africa will vary in size and value to obviously both Europe and the GCC, but the SMEs are the future of any industry. So we'd welcome they are also taking part. But where the SMEs are really going to be valuable is from innovation. Right, getting partnership with entities that are larger than them that they can work with to deliver projects on the ground. So we're absolutely very happy for all SMEs, private owners, project owners to kind of visit the show over the next 3 days.
We're told that everyday lucky attendees will walk away with brand new smartphones just for showing up. Can you imagine? Connecting and engaging, and this is absolutely free to win those things as well. So GITW. What's the website again? Summit.com. Today is Monday, Tuesday the 1st.
Yes.
So you have to register before tomorrow.
Absolutely. I mean, tomorrow we open the doors. We welcome, Ghana to Accra. We want to make sure everyone's registered so they don't have to wait and queue. Register today.
Go online, register
ready,
today. Walk in.
Exactly.
And breeze through.
Yeah.
Choose your sessions.
Indeed.
Over 100 expert speakers. 60 plus exhibitors, 1,500 delegates. This is really, really big. And there's a whole focus on free zones as well. So the big sectors, infrastructure, energy, technology, building and construction, and free zones. So any final thoughts for my listeners, Zahur?
We have a packed agenda. Both, physical exhibitors. We have wonderful speakers, high profile kind of delegates. And the kind of key thing, this is all free.
Free?
When they come, it's free registration. There's no delegate fees that they've got to pay.
Nice.
This is our opportunity to bring, the economy kind of moving forward.
Wow.
So absolutely, register today, register over the next kind of couple of days. It is free attendance, and we look forward to everybody engaging with our, investor community, our international community. And at the end of the day, let's drive international investment into Ghana. That's our mandate.
Let's drive international investment into Ghana. The Africa Build Show is happening concurrently, I believe.
Yes.
And there's also Megawatt.
The energy sector.
The energy sector. Drive through, walk through, and pass through. Let's have a great time. Zahur, always good to see you in your beautiful beige suit.
Thank you, dear friend.
Amazing. Yeah, you had the man yourself. You may call 024-552-9467 to register. Again, 024-552-9467 to register for the Ghana Investment Trade Week. In the meantime, parents, the world is changing fast, driven by AI and technology. Will your child be ready for this future? Join Mfantsipim Institute STEM Boot Camp, happening this July 21st to August 8 at the Academic Citi University. Your child won't just learn, they will build, explore, and lead in exciting fields like 3D design and printing, Python programming, artificial intelligence and robotics, game development, cybersecurity, and augmented and virtual reality. This world-class camp is designed by engineers and educators from both the USA and Ghana, combining global innovation and local experience to give your child a real edge in today's tech-driven world. Don't wait. Spots are limited. Call or WhatsApp 053-711-7334. That's 053-711-7334. Mfantsipim STEM Bootcamp, your child's future starts here. All right, before we get into Mfantsipim or Mfantsipim.
A switcher.
Oh my God. Before we get there, let's talk about Bold Foods.
Bold Foods is definitely the number one option for the delivery of all your favorite meals from your favorite restaurants. So don't miss the exclusive 15% discount on Bold Foods combo from Vidai Cafe. Order through Bold Foods and enjoy savings while getting the best meals in town. Download the Bold Foods app today and enjoy.
Okay.
Also, if you're an entrepreneur looking for meaningful business ownership opportunities, or you have a dream to provide water in a more sustainable way, worry no more. Partner with Jibu through our franchise network. With 50,000 Ghana cedis, you can receive the equipment, training, and support needed to launch your own business, purifying and selling affordable, refillable drinking water. Let the dream become a reality. We have an exciting offer for new customers and businesses as well. And we provide free bottles and dispenser machines for corporate businesses. Now, if you want to start small, you can also become a Jibu distributor or reseller in your area. Join the movement, start your journey toward a better life. For orders and enquiries, visit our website www.jibuco.com/gh. Call 0302 528 669 or 0209-845-817. Jibu, a better life.
In the meantime, Alpha Delta Pharmacy, Ghana's first drive-through pharmacy, is pleased to announce that it will run its regular 24-hour service all throughout the 4th July weekend. So enjoy our drive-through service at the Ring Road branch, where you're served from the comfort of your car. Alpha Delta Pharmacy, Kolebu branch, will also run its usual 24-hour service, while Alpha Delta Laboni will be open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. All Alpha Delta branches offer pickup or delivery services. Please contact us on 055-140-0999. That's 055-140-0999. Alpha Delta Pharmacy wishes all cherished clients a very happy Republic Day. We're going to jump into a very interesting conversation because we're very happy for the first time ever to have, I think you are still the newly minted, because you were given this position last quarter of 2024, right? So I haven't had the pleasure of interviewing you since you took the onerous task of being the head of all Mfantsipim. I was looking at the etymology of the name. I think it's Mfantsipim. Is that what it means?
It's a host of scholars for change.
A host. So Apim is thousands, right? A host of scholars for change. All right. Founded in
1876.
Wow. Before Ghana was founded.
Yes.
The Wesley girls say they are the first school in Ghana. I won't argue that today.
We are the first secondary school.
You are the first secondary school.
Wesley girls was a primary girls school.
Okay. Well,
the oldest primary before it became secondary.
They say they were vocational. Anyway, they are your sisters, so no problem. And so the school is how old? 100 and what?
Well, we're 149. We'll be 150 next year.
Wow.
So we started to mark 150 years of secondary education in Ghana.
150 years of anything is serious. Much less a school, which is such a... Wow, 150 years. I mean... Let's talk about what that means for Ghana. What does Mfantsipim represent for Ghana? Because this is 1870 what?
1876. It's 150 years of secondary education.
Yeah.
And Mfantsipim is etched into the history of Ghana indelibly. And it's the fabric of what our society is. It's also a beacon of hope.
Mm-hmm.
And a history of progress and enlightenment. And... all the Mfantsipim Boys, MOBA, Mfantsipim Boys Association, we've had this association since July 1949.
Wow.
And the idea was to encourage the old boys to continue giving back to the school and to the country and becoming role models in society that people emulate. So the Mfantsipim Boys Association, it used to be a lifetime position to be president. We say Busiaping. You know, we're also very nationalistic.
Yeah.
When it started as Richmond College, our motto was in Latin, I think, honor honoris or something like that. But then in 1905, a group of old boys who were also the lead actors in the Aboriginal Rights Protection Society formed the Fanti School, Public Schools Limited. They floated a company in London to raise money to introduce a kind of not just Eurocentric, but also African nationalistic education to Ghana. They wanted the Methodist Church, the Christianity, they wanted the technology and science of Europe, but most of all, they also wanted an African-centered education to build a new African.
Correct.
And they provided money to this Fanti Public Schools Limited. But in 1907, they decided to merge it with the Richmond College, which was the ongoing Methodist Church that they had gone to. But there were conditions. They did a deal with the Methodist Church to change the name from Richmond College to Mfantsipim. And then
correct.
And then to change the Latin motto to a fancy one, Jinshrekan.
Yeah.
This reflects the kind of idea of how they wanted to radically change society into an African-centric, progressive society instead of a Eurocentric, colonial-type education.
Wow.
So these members from Mensa Saba to Agre to J.P. Brown to, you know, all the great, Dick Johnson, all these great men that you see in the history of Ghana, they then, some of them donated lands. You know, you heard of the great Kwaboni, and he had given land to the Methodist Church for the purpose of setting up this school. And so Kwabotre, the hills on which it's built, is the hill of Kwaboni.
Okay.
And you know, these are the people that went to London to argue that the Gold Coast lands belonged to Ghana, and the Crown couldn't take it over. He paid personally for it. And, Mr. Saba, that great Mfantsipim old boy, he also did all the legal work for free for the people of Gold Coast. So people like JP Brown.
Was Saba a foundational student?
Yes.
Saba was a foundational student.
Saba was, and so many, and in fact, there's so many great people, sometimes you forget to mention. But Saba is remembered because he was key. His family also gave some of the land.
Yeah.
And
He's also the
JP
first
Brown,
Ghanaian lawyer.
Yes.
Properly so called.
Yes.
Although there were other.
The first Ghanaian lawyer, he was a Stanton. I think we were doing a book on him as well. It seems like we have to revive his history. Some of these selfless people that I've set a great example that we have to follow. At this time, he even set up a prize in the school in London in the name of his brother, who also was to Mfantsipim but died young. So in 150 years, we've started a lot of events that leads up to 150 years. It's going to be very big. It's not just about Mfantsipim or Mova. It's just about the idea about the importance of enlightenment, of sacrifice, of giving back, and of this whole secondary school movement that has given us this kind of nationalism where we're all sort of united, and finding those ethos and those values back.
Were students in those days from other parts of the country, or were they? Because when I look at your faithful eight, I think they were all Fantis at the time.
Oh no, it's just the name confuses people.
Is it?
People say it's 1,000 Fantis, like as there's a host of scholars for change. So, but no, there are people, for instance, from Volta region who come.
I'm talking of the
families.
I'm talking of the first.
The
first batch.
Amato and all these people. The first Ghanaian to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize is a genius. He went to Mfantsipim. The first black footballer that played professional in the UK. I can't remember his name. Arthur Wharton. They went to Mfantsipim. There are all kinds of people from different places doing different things. And because the school's 150 years, sometimes we even forget them. I have to look. If you look at what Amato did, he was a brilliant scholar. And he was from the Volta. He wasn't from Mfantsipim. So even the first students is a mixed thing. But of course, Cape Coast was the center of the Gold Coast. So you find that most of the people that contributed, like put money into Pargrand went to Mfantsipim. Into building UGCC and so on. These were mostly fancy merchants because they traded with the British. So you find a lot of fancy influence in terms of the finance of the political movements, finance of education, but the beneficiaries are all over the world, all over the country. So and also you look at examples of what people did. Someone like Parker, who was the Methodist Book Depot manager in Cape Coast, a British guy. He said his work was the Methodist Book Depot, and his hobby was Mfantsipim. And when he died, he left his estate to Mfantsipim to fund scholarships for, and he wasn't even Ghanaian.
He later became a headmaster, right?
No, people thought he was a headmaster, but he actually was the manager of the Methodist Book Depot. In Cape Coast. He said his work was the Methodist Book Depot, but his hobby was Mfantsipim. And during his stay there, he went to all 26 speech days of Mfantsipim. Even when he was on vacation, he made sure he would come back for the speech day. And famously, he said that his own alma mater, he had only been to 5 speech days of his own alma mater.
Obviously from
the UK.
From the UK.
But he had been to 26 of Mfantsipim speech days. When he died, his residual estate was used to fund scholarships for over a decade.
Is that why we have a something Parker House?
Yeah, Pickup
Parker House. I see. Wow. Which means that was an experiment that worked, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, right.
Why are we here? I mean, I'm the 5th bishop paying, but
Just the 5th?
Because it used to be a lifetime position.
So you had to die before?
Until...
oh, my God.
Until the 4th bishop paying Captain Paul Fojo. He then modernized that.
You can't wait for me to die. I will not die now.
It's not a corporate, a non-profit, limited by guarantee company, the MOBA. And the term of the bishop paying is now limited.
Okay.
You can only do 2 terms, 5 years each, 10. But in the end, but Phillips, J.L. Phillips was the first bishop paying. He was there forever. And if you died, another one you play. So we've modernized and we've moved on. And so the 150 years, but Chelsea's book, we launched the logo. There are a lot of activities. But one of the important things is our first headmaster.
Your first African headmaster.
African headmaster.
First African headmaster.
Who was the first African headmaster of the great schools in Mfantsipim.
Yeah.
And you know, to read his book.
So who wrote this book?
Bartels.
Oh, this is his own book.
And it's been released posthumously.
Ooh. Is it?
Yes. But he wrote it and he put the manuscript in the hands of one of his students.
Okay.
For two of his students, Dr. Andrakutu and Professor Emeritus Atusechi Otu. They are the manuscript. And his dying wishes were that they should publish the book and all the intellectual property and the rights of the book. And the revenue from the book should go to the Mfantsipim Old Boys Association.
Of course.
So it was handed over by her daughters. And for 2 years, the 40 bishop paying Captain Pofojo and Dr. Atusechi and the daughters of F.L. Bartels have been trying to bring his wishes
to pass.
And so when I was elected as the 50th bishop paying, then I was brought into this inner circle to come and finish the work. But I did very little.
Okay. Which means he had handwritten this and handed it over to the two
them.
students.
And it's a beautiful book.
And they've been working on this since when?
Yeah. Oh, I think he died in 2010.
Because he was headmaster till 61.
Yes, and then he went to UNESCO.
So he died in 2010. This is just 15 years ago.
Yes.
Wow.
And its students are amazing. I mean, you know,
so what is this? So is this book a history of Mfantsipim?
Mfantsipim, he has about 5 books, but tells himself.
Okay.
There's very nice ones. I like the Persistence of Paradox. It's a very beautiful book. You should buy it.
The Persistence of Paradox.
Yes, it's also about Mfantsipim.
Yeah.
And then this is a very deep book. You know, I mean, I don't think they make headmasters like this. I'll send you one, Bernard. I mean, when you read it,
I like this.
I mean, you're going to be excited. It's so profound.
Yeah.
It's thinking about how to balance individual education, with community education, the friction between your family interest, the village interest, the subgroups you come from, and European technology, and how that fits into a modern African education.
I've heard a bit about the persistence of paradox, and I think it was in relation to how, when the school started, it survived against all odds, because I think there were many forces that didn't either want the school to survive or didn't want to support it. But the people in the community decided that it must succeed at all costs.
You see the sacrifice and the determination and the passion and the values and the higher morals and ethics. You know, they don't make it like that anymore.
Now we get education on a silver platter.
So this book, when headmasters read them, my verdict is that it will inspire them, but to also make them feel inadequate. Because the thinking is so deep, you know, and the
and he's a headmaster from 1949.
Yes, he assumed office from 1940. He was headmaster acting before.
Okay.
And even the boys didn't like him because he wasn't British. And so they were the teachers were like, but this is a guy.
How do you
He was an old boy.
But where was he trained?
Oh, he was trained. He got a first degree, then he went to Wesley. What's it called? This priest training school.
Okay.
Then he went to London and did a master's.
Oh, so Wesley. Okay.
A double master's, and then after came back. But when he was first made action headmaster by Lockhart, Lockhart's one of our great headmasters. Very philosophical guy, right? And
R.A. Lockhart.
Yes.
Lockhart. British?
British, yeah.
Okay.
And he picked him up to say this guy is going to be the next headmaster. When they made him assistant headmaster, the nationals didn't like it. And so when one of the, I've forgotten which one of the headmasters came back and was made substantive headmaster, the British guy. Bartels says in this book that a student remarked that Manana Yenya being, you know, and that really affected him. So what did he say?
To which what?
What did they mean by that? That means he wasn't the man. So he realized that the headmaster from Mfantsipim, he needed to go and study some more. That's why he went and left, came to London. When he came back, he became greater than the
predecessors.
Yes.
Yeah.
And 150 years, we launched it with a headmaster remembers.
So just talk to me about some of the things you've been doing to build up to 150. Obviously, this book, getting it published is one.
Yes.
Because it's been in the works for 15 years. What else is happening to build up to this 150 years?
We're reforming the whole of mobile. We have a brand new secretariat coming up, which is going to be a very professional secretariat looking at the next 150 years. There's a feeling that we sort of gone backwards. You know, I mean, a lot of Mfantsipim boys, children are not even going to Mfantsipim anymore. They are going to very expensive private schools. So the question is, why do we send our children to other schools, pay obnoxious amounts of money for a school that we don't even know what their values are in terms of the depths of our history. And then we don't even donate to those schools. We turn back and go and give
donate to
school.
your school.
It's
yes, you can't send your kids there.
You know, I believe.
But that means it's not an Mfantsipim problem. It's more a Ghana problem.
It's a national problem.
Yeah, it's not,
but we have to look at it, be realistic. I mean, I support the progressively. I mean, free SHS is good, but there certainly must be special schools that train different kinds of leaders.
Yeah,
you know, and there should be a mix of interesting stakeholders. And it doesn't make sense. My child needs to go to Mfantsipim is something that makes me very sad. You know, that's an argument with my wife that she won, right? The 4 Bishop's children didn't go to Mfantsipim.
So it didn't even start with you.
Yes.
It didn't start with you.
And when I go to the school my son went to, which is SOS, I find a lot of Mfantsipim stickers.
Because almost all the Mfantsipim kids go there.
Paying about 20 grand a year, $20,000 a year. Just 20 students going to that school can pay the whole money that Mfantsipim gets from the government.
And the quality you go out, you at Kwaboche, you would say similar to what your boy is getting at SOS?
For
the time.
I mean,
is this worth its weight in gold?
No, it's. I mean, you see, Mfantsipim is not just a place, and it's not just the education. Mfantsipim is an idea. You know, it's a certain idea of how one has to live and how one has to affect society, right? So once you're there, it's not just academics. In fact, when there are no teachers there, you still feel the spirit that you have to do something great. Because there are people to look up to.
Yeah.
So it's like you see somebody walking on water and you say, oh, if this guy can walk on water, then I can. So you're always aspiring to something higher. I mean, as an Mfantsipim boy, even if you do something that is not quite right, it knocks at your spirit. Because you're not supposed to do that. You get me? I mean, the first thing I think about, even before I became Bushaping, is that I'm a Mfantsipim deputy head boy. So wherever I go, I reflect something. So I have to be careful what I say, what I do. Do you understand me? I have to be careful. I don't do anything criminal. I don't say anything. No, you have to be proper. It's a tradition. So it's beyond education. Once you have that, I mean, you go and you look at, I mean, when I speak to the older Mfantsipim boys, even today, the kind of character they have and the persona that they execute, it inspires me. You should meet some of them and speak to them. I mean, the older Mfantsipim boys, the way they even speak.
So when you say older, you're talking about those who finished in the 70s, 60s.
You speak to someone like Dr. Akutu, and it's inspiring. Even the things they think about. You know, this guy invites us to his house every week to talk about this.
But my question though is, how did we allow all of that to go away in terms of the fact that now all the secondary schools don't seem to have the resources to train our kids in the way that we would like? I mean, I'm talking about the elite now.
Yeah.
All right, because the elite don't really send their kids back to those schools. Some may send them for a couple of years for experience, but a lot of them would rather pay for TIS, SOS, or
because there are big issues, right? Where their living conditions. You know, I was at the funeral in Takrady over the weekend, and I was wearing my mobile shirt because it was a mobile funeral. And the mother comes to me and says, "Oh, Mfantsipim is great, but please go and look at the sanitation. It's so bad." And I felt so bad.
Yeah.
Wearing my Bushaping shirt for somebody to come and tell you that my schools applications are bad, the toilets are, you know. But what do you do to it?
Yeah.
You have government sending 4,000 students through a school that was built for 1,000 every year. At MOBA, we have to get our objectives right. We don't do anything that's not sustainable. So we're building you asked about what we're doing. We're building the Corporate Center of Sports Excellence, which is a multi-million-dollar sports facility. I dare say to be the best in the East against Cycle School. MOBA's focused on that. We have people given millions of dollars, not simple money, to build the sports First Lady. This is Moba's work because we feel like sports has always been part of Mfantsipim.
Yeah.
We build it so that we have a balance in education. But if we took that money and we put it into dormitories and say we expanded the dormitories to 10,000, the government bring 20,000. So it's unsustainable.
No, but you need to stop the flow at some point.
We're doing a full study.
Okay.
But at Mfantsipim belongs to the Methodist Church. So we want our school back. That's all. Because we feel we'll do better.
Would you be able to run it, pay for it?
Why not? We're Mfantsipim boys.
As a public school?
We're going to run it as a non-profit school, right? And the money that the students go and pay to KIS and all these other schools, I don't even know where they are found, who their founders are, who they believe in, what they believe in. And they'll pay to Mfantsipim, right? So if you have Mfantsipim old boys paying 20,000 to these international schools, dollars.
It means that they have money to spend.
They have money to spend. So if we have, say, 500 fee-paying schools,
you can balance it and still
that's government money given us for 20 years.
And you can still bring in...
And then we bring needy but brilliant
regular
students on scholarship.
Correct.
We accept even free SHS students. But on merit. Not that somebody stands in the Ministry of Education and transfers people to our school. But then we go back to 150 years of excellence. And meritocracy, where the rich subsidize the brilliant but needy.
Well, will this idea work only for Mfantsipim? Because I'm sure some other schools are listening and saying, because the problem you describe is not just an Mfantsipim problem. Achimota has the same, Presec has the same, I'm sure Augustine's, Adisadel. Should there be some schools given this leeway to try this?
I believe that there should be an eligibility criteria. You know, people can talk without doing the work.
Okay.
So if you want to have such a, a mix of stakeholders, government has part, and put your money where your mouth is. If you can do it, do you have the seed money? What is the plan for the conversion? Will you be able to support this and transition? And what will be the policy? Will the policy be in line with the curriculum? But let's not make all schools mediocre. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So clearly, the schools that show the willingness and the ability to do this should be given a chance to do it.
Yes. In our case, I think we are very clear in our minds as old boys that that's what we want to do.
Have you engaged the government on this already?
We're planning first. I mean, we have a strategic plan. We want to be sure that we're ready.
Okay.
We've signaled the Methodist Church. They've signaled that, yes, they would want their school back so that we can bring that level of contribution to Ghana's education again.
Let's come back to the book. When is it being launched? Where is it being launched?
It's being launched at the Methodist head office tomorrow.
Okay.
And we expect to see a lot of distinguished guests there.
Okay.
Including you, Bernard.
Even though I haven't seen my invite yet, I'll take it as an open invitation.
And it's something. It's going to be after we launch it. We have like 5,000 copies or so.
Just 5,000 copies. So you auction it for a project.
We'll auction it. It's going to go into the 150 and the sports complex and all these other things. And then it's going to be on Amazon afterwards. And it's a book that everybody.
So there's a digital version available.
Yes, right. It's available after the launch. But it's a book that everybody must have just because of the history.
I can't even wait.
And the
I can't wait.
The intellectual depth of
because it also gives the history not just of this. Because once you
also
talk about
Ghana.
it's a Ghana history, right?
Yeah,
so it will
about,
tell you about how other schools even came up.
Yes,
I'm sure. Because
Bartels was a co-founder of the government-assisted schools.
He was a co-founder from history of that
of CHAS, and then became the head of CHAS. So you see all the history of. But the questions you asked, how did we end up here? In fact, we were a mission school.
Yeah.
Then we went for government assistance. Actually, we haven't seen any physical agreement as to how even that agreement
That's
works.
the lawyer and you talking.
Yeah. So the lands of Mfantsipim actually belong to the Methodist Church, not the government.
I know. You can make a case in court to take the school back.
We can go for determination.
But I think we have a reasonable minister. So let's go and talk to him first.
No. I think that the government should be open to this conversation. We're looking at what is good for Ghana.
Yeah.
We're looking at how we can bring the importance of secondary schools and what they've done for Ghana back. We're looking at expanding free SHS, but also let's look at options of enhanced free SHS.
Wonderful.
Enhanced free SHS. And like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. Why a family should be paying I mean, just when I think about it, I'm very sad.
It's serious, and yet the heart of the alumni is still for the school.
Yeah,
so
I
they
mean,
will
my
still go and
son
donate
might
to the
get a
school.
good education. I'm sure they.
Yeah,
very good education at SOS. But he will never get the spirit of Mfantsipim. That's right.
Because it's not transmitted by seed. It's transmitted by the time you spend there.
And the history.
After the launch, where will the book be sold?
Oh, it's going to be sold at
obviously Methodist Book Depot.
Methodist Book Depot with all leading
bookshops.
Does
the new Methodist head office have a bookshop? It's a beautiful place. The Methodist is just next to your mobile office.
Our mobile office. That's where our office is. Our secretariat, our new secretariat.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
It should have a bookshop. If it doesn't, you should create one there.
I will suggest it to the presiding
bishop. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Is the presiding bishop a Kwaboche boy?
Unfortunately not. He said that it's something that he wished he had.
Where did he go?
But once he's a presiding bishop, he's an advanced boy.
Yeah. But he's to be fair, he actually also did some great work at Trinity College.
Oh yes.
He's a very
fantastic guy.
Solid educationist.
This is a dynamic guy.
His ideas about education are
It's very progressive.
Very, very, very.
We are very hopeful that he
prolific writer too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a very
solid guy.
Inspiring person.
You'll be there tomorrow?
He will be doing that by video because he's outside the country. Yeah.
So you'll be there?
Oh, I will be there, of course.
And so are you inviting these other people?
I've invited the president of your Presec.
He will come.
Dr. Sapon. I've called him. I've sent him.
No, he'll be there.
I told him he can't miss it.
No, he'll come.
He needs to read this book and see how he's going to transform.
Have you invited Joel Neti, Motown?
We've invited all of them.
All the old school.
Yes. But you Presec, I intentionally invited Presec. You have a dynamic school, but you're not old enough. So I want to give you my book so that you will see how you will transform Presec.
Moses Bading is the Ebusiapenyin. That's really, they call Ebusiapenyin because he's the chief alumnus of Mfantsipim School, representing 150 years of history. And next year, we'll talk to them again about next year, 150. It's a big thing. It's going to be really big. We'll talk to them about that. 1876 to 2026. Massive time in Ghana's history. We'll take a short break. Thank you, Moses. Always good to see you.
Yeah. Ebusiapenyin is the most important job I've ever done.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I consider it the most important job. I've got 150 years of
for somebody who runs a multi-million-dollar company, that's something big to say.
This is more important.
Wow.
It's 150 years of
very
good history.
It's the fifth Ebusiapenyin.
I represent many eminent ghosts.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's time to take the next step toward your dreams. Admissions are now open for our October intake at Lancaster University, Ghana. Get ready for a world-class education, global opportunities, and an unforgettable experience in Ghana. For more information, contact us at +233 030 211 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Apply today and begin your journey to success with Lancaster University, Ghana. Your future starts now.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244 313 368 or 0540 111 978 or 0202 021 175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Imagine waking up to serenity every day, surrounded by nature's beauty and luxury at your fingertips in a gated estate you can be proud to call your home. Welcome to Western Villas, located at Mensa, where our stunning homes redefine elegance. At Western Villas, each home is a masterpiece, designed with precision and love. From swimming pool, gym, playground, beautiful landscaped gardens, and private balconies, making every day feel like a retreat. We also have executive plots for sale at McCarthy Hill, strategically located and offer unparalleled views, easy access to amenities, and endless possibilities for executive living. With just 5% deposit, you can reserve your space. Contact us today to learn more about our luxury homes at Ai Mensa or executive plots at McCarthy Hill. Call us now on 0536 502295 or visit www.westernvillas.com for more information.
On the go, night or day, PBL app is the easiest way. Bank secure, bank with ease. Right at your fingertips, bank is a breeze. PBL app making banking so clear. Anytime, anywhere, we're here. Safe, secure, banking for you. PBL app, simple and true.
Welcome to the future of banking. The Prudential Bank mobile app. Bank secure anytime, right from your phone. Access your accounts 24/7. Perform instant transactions. Pay bills. Link mobile money wallets. Scan and pay with GHQR. Manage your cards. Make seamless GIP interbank transfers. All with ease. No more banking hours. Take control and app your banking. Experience simple, secure and convenient banking. Download the PBL mobile app now. PBL mobile app. App your banking.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's a minute to the top of the hour, and if you're an SME, cooperative, or an associate in the cashew or oil palm sector, apply for the DPP matching grant under the Ghana Private Sector Competitiveness Program 2. In a collaboration between the governments of Ghana and Switzerland, implemented by NIRAS and ProForest. This grant supports innovation in processing, market access, product development and training, skills training. Priority is given to women and youth-led enterprises and inclusive businesses. Application deadline is the 11th of July 2025. Apply. Visit gpscp2.com/eligibility. Join the webinar through our website to learn more. The date is 2nd July 2025. Time is 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. We invite people in agribusiness, in cashew and oil palm associates, cooperatives and processors, women and youth-led enterprises. Reach us via email ddp-gpscp2@niras.com. And that's how we bring an end to the show today. Thank you for doing the listening. My name is Caleb Kuda. Earlier you heard Francisca Kakrafosin and Bernardino Kokuavle as well. Ejubi Rafia Kenting is here with the news at 10.
Coming up, internet users to get 15% more data from today as policy kicks in, and legal